Welcome, 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 legends, to SRW TV's coverage for tonight's Super Show with the Radicals. It's the SR8 versus the SR10s. And then we follow on after that for our Super Show for the Porsche GT3 Cup cars, which is going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be super fun tonight. We come to you here tonight from the Red Bull Ring. So this is going to be some super action. We're all used to this track. We all know this track. It's very, very world famous, very high speed track, some very challenging corners, some amazing stuff to be seen tonight. Myself tonight, Mr. Sheffy Todd Thorburn, myself and Mr. Tyson McAvoy. How are you, fine sir?
I'm doing good, bro. Yourself?
I am absolutely epic, mate. Absolutely epic. I'm having a great time. And we're here with our illustrious producer, Mr. Nathan Shibby Howard. So tonight we are coming to you from Red Bull Ring, and big shout out and so much brought to you by DSL Welding Services, Pagnian Advanced Simulations, and Dragon RC. Along with all our background crew, with our BC crew, and I'd like to do a big shout out to our broadcast crew as well, because we know how much we put into it in the background. So, Tyson, what do you think we're going to see tonight, mate? What do you think are going to be the pinch corners, etc., etc.?
These cars, I did some running earlier with these cars, and it's a very downforcey track. So if you want to throw that car into the corner, like we know some of these guys do, the grip's going to be there. So it's going to be a very good car for a very good track. Sorry, for the Radical.
Track temperature today. There's not so many corners on Red Bull Ring. So in these Radicals, you reckon it's going to lend itself to this track?
Well, the draft's going to be very powerful, and yes, I think given there's not many corners in the high-speed corners as well, so they're going to suit the... It's going to be interesting with the difference between the 10 and the 8. Now we just started our qualifying laps. These boys are going to really lay down some times. It takes a few times to chew the fuel off. They got 15 minutes here, and we're 2 minutes in, so a lot of time to burn that fuel and then go for a really hot lap. And it is cold track too. I think we're on 21. So a nice cool track, partly cloudy conditions.
So we're not going to have too much problem with tyres today then?
No, tyres shouldn't be a factor at all.
With the Radicals anyway?
Yeah, the boys said last week, I think we're at Spa, and they didn't really need to take the tyres in the pit stop. We had a longer race there too. We got a 45-minute race, so just shortened this week for round 2. And we've got a good set of numbers here for the paddock. I think we got 20 cars in here tonight, 19. So it should be interesting.
It's, especially on such a small track as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing how long it's going to take those guys to really push and lap in the M10s.
I don't know, Hughesy, you're a bit of a iRacing expert or beginner expert, maybe we'll say. We'll just won't give you too much praise there. But have they done anything with the track limits on Red Bull Ring lately, as they've done with other tracks, like shifted, the sausage curbs on Laguna Seca, etc., etc.? Has there been any of that play on Red Bull Ring? Because it seems like these guys are taking a bit more a track limit than they probably used to not be able to take.
Yeah, so Red Bull Ring's very lenient with the track limits, so you can use all the exit curbs except for the green, and then especially in the turn 1, and then everywhere else is kind of really tight. So, but if you're using too much of the corners, you're probably a bit slow and off the racing line anyway. But turn 1 and probably the exit, the last corner as well, second last corner, and then that high-speed right-hander. It's probably the only 2 corners I'd say you can use a lot of road.
Nice. Yeah, it's going to be a good battle here, I think. And you reckon it's going to be quite close?
Well, we'll see when these boys start laying down sometimes. We've got Cameron up the top with a 25.9. and then Nathan behind doing a 26.422. And then Scott Rankin, I think he was our winner last week in P3 at the moment, about to cross the line, getting a nice tow, and he does a 24.7. So it's not a bad lap time at all from Scotty there. And he's gone to the top, so, but he's using that drive quite well, sitting behind and just pushing. Now he's gone from Blake Delaney. So he's in P2, did a 25.5. I think that's his first lap.
Sorry, bit of technical issues there. Sorry, apologies. So, Mr. Blake Delaney with a great lap there, but we got Scotty Rankin. We know he's fast in so many things, man. He seems to have a bit of a natural talent. I don't want to talk him up too much because we know he likes to talk it up a lot as well. But Mr. Scotty Rankin, he's got some serious pace in a lot of different cars. He likes to turn left all the time, and I think he might be sandbagging a little bit, I think, there. Because Mr. Scotty Rankin seems to have a bit of pace in a lot of cars. Whatever he puts his hand to, he seems to have a lot of pace in. But he says that he can only turn left. So I think we need to watch this bloke a little bit.
Well, last week we saw him use his fuel strategy. He saved a lot of fuel and bring it home for the win. It's going to be interesting to see how his pace and his fuel saving this week is. I'm not sure of our fuel numbers for the race mode to these cars, but of course, once we see the boys push on, we've got a 45-minute race, as I said earlier. So it should be interesting as we see Bruce there finishing his lap, and he's going up to P6 with a 27.3. So we can see a few of the gaps there starting to forge with the faster 10 cars and the 8 cars. But it's starting to look like a pretty solid grid. A lot of close times in the mid-pack there, as we saw last week.
Yeah, as we see, we're on board with Bruce White right now, and Bruce White's has been having a great little bit of a improvement there. We seen him last night have a great race there, but then just make a little bit of a faux pas in the last pit stop there. But we won't go back into that. I'm sure he's just moving on and rolling on with what he was doing in the first place. So. I love these guys. I love all these boys in his series. Everyone seems to roll with the punches. You know, racing's racing. Sometimes the calls go your way, and sometimes they don't. But everyone seems to be really respectful, and everyone just gives each other enough space. And then when they don't, then sometimes things go wrong. So here we go, Blake Delaney. There, Nathan Verney up into first place there with the best time there with a 1:24.68.
Yeah, he's a 10th quicker than his practice time, so he's found a little bit of speed, and he's on that's his 5th fastest, his 5th lap. So he's getting into a rhythm. He's got a few cars in front of him, so he's using that slipstream to his to the best here.
Do you reckon it was a sandbag practice or a sandbag?
Oh, well, that's the powerful thing about this slipstream. You get behind a few cars, and it's just like having a DRS button, but it's very more powerful.
I like that. Yeah, it's very, very true. That's a good analogy. It is very much like having a DRS button. We know how much of a DRS button definitely advantages you around Red Bull Ring, as long as you can get the racing line right, essentially.
Yep, and then they're using all that grip.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, if you can nail the racing line around here, your dreams are coming true. If you can nail it around here, that's when you can really push your points. But there is a lot of track limits that you have to push right around here. Hey.
Well, that's right. We were talking about it earlier. You can just, as we see Scotty using a bit of the road, then clips the curb. And as soon as you go over that yellow sausage curb, you're probably in the fence. So all these guys using the maximum track, as we see Scotty do a 25.2. So not the best lap there from Scott, that last lap, but he's pushing on in the SRW Radical.
And Nathan Verney's still holding that top spot
Oh,
there.
contact into turn one.
Wow, what a launch. Wowee. That was kind of cool, though.
Let's not see that in a race, because we'll probably see the safety car if that happens. But
yeah, but it definitely puts into perspective how much these cars, trying to get the downforce and the design of them, they literally become the other way around. They become a ramp, right?
That's right. You look at the front end of it, it is literally a ramp.
It literally goes from iRacing to GTA. So we've got Scotty Reagan on another Perla. Oh, he's got Purple Sector. Purple Sector 2. Can he get Purple Sector 3?
Was he going to get balked?
Oh, I don't know. Is he going to push out the outside? Oh, yes.
That's his lap gone. He ran a bit too wide. They got balked by that car there. Is the lap going to count? No, it doesn't. Yeah.
That's a 1X there. He's gone over track limits. Oh, he's going over track limits. Oh.
Yeah, he was just a bit too close.
It, right?
A bit too close to the car in front, and he got that understeer as we saw him, and the car rejoined in front instead of maybe staying out there for the best, but he pushes on again. He'll have to go for another outlap. He's still got 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, Mr. Alex John on the push now. Seems like he's in the slipstream. He seems like he's got a bit of draft there. He might be able to push for a couple of sectors here. He's only got oranges at the moment, orange sectors at the moment. Can he get a green at least? Maybe he's just wearing out those tyres right now. Where we might see a couple of people coming to the pits now, refresh tyres, try and smash out the last bit. You reckon, Tyson? Or
yeah, well, that's right. It's got 4 minutes. It's hard to say, because when I raced these last season, it would take probably 3 or 4 laps to warm the tyres up, so it might be just safer just to stay on the ones that are hot and good.
Leon Williams having a bit of a moment there. It's easy to do at turn 1 though, isn't it? If you get it wrong and you got a bit too much curb under braking, it does get a little bit sideways, so it gets a little bit squirrely, as they say.
Yeah, then there's plenty of runoff as well in the turn 1 to escape. Especially if you're going to outbrake someone, you can just take to the left side of the track and miss the sausage curb, or probably launch you. And
I think the final corner, this is where everyone's going to pick up these 1Xs. This final corner as we see here, I think he's just pulled it right in there. But essentially there's that little bit of that green turf, but there's these little yellow markers on the outside of that. If you get on the on the outside, at least if you get a tire on the outside of those little yellow markers, essentially that's when you're going over track limits, and they're pretty harsh, and we've seen that in F1s, etc. Oh, haven't we, Tyson?
Their laps get deleted. So in the world of iRacing, if people don't know what the 1X is, if you go off track and using too much of the track limits, you get the 1X, so your lap time in qualifying would be deleted. Kind of the same in F1, but they have a guy making that decision, and they have that already set out in iRacing. It's virtually the same, but it's virtual.
Exactly right. That's a sim, not a G word. Here we go.
So you see Nathan go to the top. Look at that. Nathan's gone to the top of the times now. The 24.67.
Once again. Come on, son.
Just a slight improvement on his lap, and then 24.7 with Scotty behind, and then David Ungar 24.9. So that's that top 3 cars, and they're pretty tight.
Very tight, and that's what we're going to see, a lot of tight racing tonight, I think, and so I'm really excited about tonight. Red Bull Ring is one of those places you're always going to see some real good battles. You're going to see some questionable passing, maybe some questionable missed braking points as well, so we might need to look out for a couple of safety cars tonight, because Red Bull Ring lends itself to safety cars quite a bit if they're willing to bring them out, but it's hard when it's a short track, right?
Well, that's right, short track, a couple of runoff areas, but turn 1s are very hard to get through with high speed cars, and then up to turn 2 as well, or 3 technically, up here. As we see Blake Delaney now starting his lap. He did some warming up tyre mechanisms on the way here, so let's see if his first sector, what it's going to be like when he goes through. He went very deep on the brakes there and he's missed the apex completely.
Oh, but he's got a brilliant exit out of that corner, it seems.
He's he's orange in the first sector, but let's see what he can make up in the second sector. As he said, he got a decent exit there, but a pretty crap in entry. He missed the apex.
Oof. You need to come far on the outside to the entry of that corner, a bit more. Yeah, a bit more further to the outside. Oh, yeah, he's holding his speed there in third. Yep. Should be in third. Okay. Yep.
As you see the checker flag now, so everybody on their laps now. Well, this will be their last attempt to get over. Last chance to grab that pole position. Uses the curb well.
Outstanding show tonight. Wow.
As you see Delaney across the line, is he going to improve that? 25.5. He does a 25.4. Only one position he gained, 1/10, one position.
We have Mr. Alex John up in the 7th there, so he's kept his spot there. His previous spot. Leon Williams, is he going to be able to better this? I don't think so. Seemed to have any greens.
No, he was 2/10 down on that lap there, as we see Scotty do a purple last sector, and he gets a 24.706. So he improved, but not enough to take pole position, so only improved a couple of hundredths of a second there. I don't see any Sinkovich brothers out there tonight, so they must be quite busy yet again. We missed them last week, and they started from the back.
We got Stephen Sinkovich not quite out there, but they're in the session, so we'll see the Sinkovich boys at the end of qualifying. Maybe they've just gone, it's Red Bull Ring, I've given up a little bit. Maybe it's all good, I'm happy with my qualifying time, and I'm going to battle from the back. So,
well, we've got a lot of cars out here that haven't actually done a lap time, as we see Scotty trying to show off. We've got only 10 cars on track has done a lap out of 19, so 20. Sorry, that's going to be quite interesting. But
honestly,
grid.
And the radicals are very challenging around this track as well, because you've got quite a bit of undulation in the course. You've got quite a bit of elevation in the course as well. So under braking, with all those curves, and you have to actually push the track limits a lot on Red Bull Ring. So we might see a bit of carnage. We might not. Who knows?
Look at that gap between P1 and P2 there. Well, there's a starting grid. I'll let you take this one while the race control in the background.
So Mr. Nathan Verney with Locked On Racing with a smashing lap with a 124.677. Brilliant lap, followed by Scotty Rankin. Sorry, Mr. Scotty Rattlegun Rankin. So in second place on the grid there. So our second row on the grid is David Unger and Bruce White. Our third row on the grid is Cameron Edwards and Blake Delaney. We've got in 7th place there Alex John. 8th we've got Bradley Hudson. 9th Nick Schellenberg. Sorry, apologies. 10th we've got Leon Williams. 11th Jamie Dyke, and 12th Stefan McCartan. And Scotty Callahan we got there in 13th place. We've got 14th place. We've got Tom Coley. These guys are very, very fast. They seem to be starting from the back. So better word of warning, these guys might not have been good enough of a qualifying, and they might be on the back foot here, but they will be fast. Dylan DeBono there in 15th as well. Adam Simpson in 16th. Andrew Cowan there in 17th. 19th, Matthew Ballett, and Darren Fahey in 20th.
It's going to be interesting. Done. A few guys not taking that chance to take the qualifying, but I think these lights are about to come up. So, Toddy, take it away, mate.
Here we go. We go to 5 red lights. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go. Green lights. Oh, the rubbish start from one of the SRW TV cars there, but we've had a clean start from the rest of the grid there. Just Mr. Tom Curry's just having a bit of a massive moment there with Steven Sigovic. Oh, Scotty Rankin.
Yeah, Scotty's gone from the front of the field to the back of the field. I think he was also the car that was spinning around there in the background. So it's going to be interesting. We try and get a replay of that once these guys still continue down to turn 4.
Oh, we're gonna see a lot of action here tonight. It's quite a short track with a lot of elevation, a lot of undulations around some pretty fundamental corners, right? It teaches you a lot. Red Bull Ring teaches you a lot about a lot of different corners and how you kind of need to trail brake, etc., etc., etc. We've got Alex John trying to make this move back on Blake Delaney there. I think it was Blake Delaney earlier that had that bit of a questionable start, unfortunately. So, but he's just dropped down a few positions. So Scotty Callahan also down there.
He's
Scotty
up 6
Callahan
spots.
is absolutely smashing it. Woohoo! We just got news from Mr. Shibby that he done a 123.4 in practice. Absolutely insanity. So watch out for Scotty Callahan in that Wash Me car. We know he's our champion from last season. We know he's got pace. He will be there hunting.
Yep, and he was on the podium last week as well, and he had a great drive, and he said, I'm going to take it to those guys in the faster cars, and we might see that tonight.
Oh yeah, Mr. Blake Delaney. We know this, at least this top 10. Oh, we know this whole field's very, very quick. But honestly, this top 10 is pretty crazy quick. So these guys are battling hard. We don't have as many SR10s as it seems that we had last week. We saw a bit of a gap between the SR10s and the SR8s last week. But I think, especially on a track like Red Bull Ring, I'm not sure if you agree, but I think it's going to be a bit closer. What do you reckon?
Yeah, as we see, is that Scotty, I think, going down, as we see a car up there too. There's action everywhere. Reed races that position. There's a bent wing. But you're right. Some of these cars might not have the advantage as they would at a longer track. So I did testing with Cowie, a few of these drivers last week, and we saw, as we see, he's had a contact with the leaders.
Taken out. Oh, no. I think that was a bit of late braking from the following driver there. So we'll just leave that to be for the old race control until we can see and maybe commentate on a little bit more of a judgment. But we'll see. Mr. Nathan Verney absolutely profiting from the rest of it. And Mr. Nathan Verney is down actually 4 spots now. So he's
he was that contact hurt him, and now Blake Delaney is our race leader, and Scotty is in P2, up 11 spots.
I was looking at the wrong spot, Mr. Scotty Callahan. And that Wash Me car, I'm glad he hasn't washed it yet, because now it is 100% a trademark of Mr. Scotty Callahan. If you see that black car with those...
Oh, there's contact there too!
Oh, but he's just fending his line. Wow, Mr. Cameron Edwards. I think he's just come off, I think that's a racing incident, but he's just come off second best.
Yeah, there was a lot of contact there. Scotty's holding his line in the fence. If he might have moved over, he might not have. I'm not race control yet, so
yeah,
it's a bit unfortunate there for Cameron. That was good racing.
Leave it to the gods.
But we can't even go back and look at replays yet because there's just so much action happening. But trust me, guys, once we get a little breather, we'll be able to go and see.
Beautiful move on the inside. Come on. Oh, Cameron Edwards on the inside, and Nick Schellenberg. Absolutely. We got the SR10 on the inside. Come on.
You can see the exit of that 8 is much better than the 10, but the 10 just gets him, drag him down the swing. But Blake Delaney, I've heard, has crashed.
Massive moment at the back there. He's just lost a bit of grip on the exit of turn 1. It seems, or a bit too much curve on the exit.
And now we've got Scotty, as again, he's now in the lead of this race. And this mid-pack is just, this is for battle for 7th, 6th. It's on.
I got Adam Simpson there, just trying to stay out of the trouble in that British Motorsports car, just in the SR10. Just yeah, I've got this, but just kind of give me a little bit of room, please. You know. Ooh, man, it's nail biting.
Well, that was an action-packed start. We didn't have much action last week, as we still see it going on track, and they're definitely bringing it this week at the Red Bull Ring.
So good. I do love this track. And it does bring a lot of action, and it kind of it definitely lives up to the Red Bull kind of mantra a bit, doesn't it?
In high-speed corners and in intense racing, that's exactly right. We might try and get a replay now of the race start while we've kind of got a little bit of a breather. But oh, what an intense battle at the start here. We're already 5 laps in.
Oh, beautiful. Tom Carey just on the outside. Oh, Blake Delaney still having that massive battle with Adam Simpson here, both in the SR10. So it's good to see this little battle between the SR10s, actually. Great to see this little battle. See how much sort of more pace, because these guys are very, very comparable pace in a lot of different cars. We see a lot of Blake Delaney and Adam Simpson kind of battling in whatever they're in the cars in, really, because they're about the same pace. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle tonight versus these SR8s as well, because it's a short track, handling it through the carnage / traffic, I should say. And Mr. Leon Williams, hopefully he'll have a bit more of a measured night tonight. These guys might know this track a lot more tonight as well, so we might see a bit more pace from these guys and a little bit less safety cars, etc.
Well, as we've seen, a few cars already going, having their moments and spinning off, but there's been plenty of runoff to get them back on the track.
Most definitely. Yeah, Mr. Cowie there, Mr. Scotty Rankin just trying to make himself some space.
Yeah, Cowie's just sitting in the P6 at the moment. No, P11, sorry. He's up 6 spots and pushing on, as you see Scotty trying to get the toe here and to get the over and under, but the car in front is defending quite nice, and Cowie's got the best seat in the house. See if he can take advantage of the over and under, and gets a bad exit.
Just trying to avoid the carnage, just trying to. That was very measured from him though, because there's a lot of people that'll come really wide on the exit and then they'll miss it and then they'll just gun it straight to the apex, which if you're in the middle of that, you don't want to be any part of that. So I'm sure Cowie's been twice bitten, never fooled again. You know.
Well, he's just moved up another spot there, Scotty, on his crawl back through the field. He's up into now P9.
Woohoo, moving up his ways. So Mr. Cameron Edwards as well, Mr. Cameron Edwards has beaten Mr. Adam Simpson's time as well. So Adam's trying to push on the back here. But as we see these SR8s are really hanging on to the back of these SR10s. They know they have a bit more horsepower and a lot more horsepower down the straights and a lot more top speed down the straights. So essentially what they're looking for, especially why we've got Cameron Edwards then sitting there sitting there in the SR8 just behind Blake Delaney, and I'm sure Cameron Edwards would be very, very happy about being part of this SR10 sort of melee. Not right now on this lap, but maybe in one more lap time when you get some clean air. And a lot of draft from these boys, from the big boys.
So yeah, I'm very surprised with the difference in the speed this week compared to last week with these cars, and you know the 8s and the 10s. I wouldn't say they're evenly balanced this week, but they definitely seem to be a little bit more advantaged at this type of track, at this layout.
Most definitely, I think. Oh, look at how much more pace they got through the corners, the SR8s. Come on. Let's go. Oh, Cameron Edwards just absolutely hounding the back of that SR10. That's what we want to see. We want to see this battle, to see maybe if these two cars can battle together, especially on these sort of tracks. I know they got more horsepower. Look at the drag. Even if he's got the draft as well, look how quickly the SR10 pulls away from that SR8. See?
And then in the corners, it kind of gives it back.
Yeah. It's pretty... What do you reckon? It's probably 60-40 straights versus corners? Braking? What do you reckon?
Oh, well, we just got news that Scotty will be getting a drive-through penalty. That's our race leader getting a drive-through penalty for that incident earlier.
Oh, really?
So he had an incident where he ran off that car in the middle section, and he's getting a drive-through penalty. Wasn't racing room given, apparently, and it was a 50-50 call, and I guess that the Racing Charles made that decision. David Unger as well had a drive-through penalty earlier for Connor contact in the last section. So we're going to see the Washmi car come down the pit lane, serving that penalty. He doesn't serve his penalty this lap. He stays out. He's done a 24.49, and I think Delaney is the fastest car on track at the moment, trying to crawl back. His time. As he did a 24.186 last lap. Once you do this lap as he crosses the line, a 24 flat. That's the best lap in the race so far, and it's just purple after purple for Delaney, and he's in P4.
Brilliantly run, but as we know, these SR10s, I think they'll be the front runners, but I'm not sure if we'll see an SR8 actually beat an SR10 this year or this season, but you never know. On these little tracks, you never know. Blake Delaney's had a big moment as well.
Curse.
Oh, no.
Give him a wrap, and he just spun it again. I did it a few laps ago, and the commentator's cursed back at it.
So easy to do it as well, isn't it? It's so easy to do it into that hairpin. It's into that. What they turn it? They call it actually turn 3, don't they?
That's right.
It kind of feels like it's turn 2, but it's actually turn 3.
So we see Cowie here going side by side, and he's trying to make a move, but he's on the wrong side of the track for the next corner, and if he makes a mistake, he's going to leave the door wide open for the car behind. He leaves the door open, he gives him plenty of room, and that's just good racing there, and he holds his line, and he's just going to have to try and battle with his downforce, because he's got the advantage with the downforce, as you see him close that gap up right in the mid-stage there, and then we see the 10 just pull away along that straight.
And Mr. Schmellenberg is actually doing an awesome job just putting those elbows out, just trying to hold off Cowie here, but I'm sure Cowie looks like he's got him pretty measured right now, eh?
Yep, he's trying to get that draft, and he's trying to get past. As you see, the draft train, normally a DRS train, but now it's a draft train. And let's see how we can go up to turn 3.
And I love how respectful these drivers are, and especially in these radicals. They're hard to drive under aero and under draft as well, because you have to actually brake a lot earlier when you're under that much draft and under that much slipstream. To make sure you can settle the car into these corners around Red Bull. So
we see Bruce here trying to take the move as well on his teammate of Cowie. He's making a good drive here. So if these boys can work together and push through, they'll be up the front. But at the moment, they're just trying to get past. And Cowie's going around the right side of the track this time. And I think he's got that job done.
Beautiful work.
Yeah, he's learned from last lap. He said, I ain't going around the long way. I'm going down the inside this time. And he gets the pass done. Well done, Cowie.
Beautiful work. Beautiful work. Just making short, clean work of him. Very, very clean. Very, very clean.
And over here, Scotty is going into the pit lane as well now for his drive-through penalty.
Oh, Bruce White sliding down once again. Oh,
and it is a long pit lane too, and Scotty's going to come out right behind this pack, so it's kind of hurt him a lot, and he's just got to push all the way through again.
And then we got Tom Cowdery just having a bit of a moment there with Cameron Edwards. I'm loving how much Cameron Edwards is bullying these SR10s right now. It's so good. Come on, Cam. Bully them. Bully them. Stay in that draft and bully the hell out of them, because the more you can, the better you are, right?
That's right. You put them under pressure, and they've got to do their hard work. As we see, Scotty, he was out the front, leading like it was nothing. He made a simple mistake in the early stage of the race, put him in the back, but still got plenty of time. We're only 15 minutes into this race, and still, we had a 45, so a long way to go, and possible pit stops to come up to spice things up.
Oh, most definitely. I'm loving this camera footage right now. Cameron Edwards just sitting in this spot there. He's just slotted himself there in front of Adam Simpson, making sure he's in this double draft of the SR10, trying to stay in track limits and trying to keep Adam Simpson behind him, even though he knows the only reason why he's got the pace is because he's got the draft. It's good. This is awesome.
The gaps aren't as big as I thought they were going to be at this part of the race. We have seen a few drivers go off, but the field at the moment, who is not a lap down, the gaps are only 27 seconds, so it's good to see these boys pushing hard, giving plenty of room and still having a good time out there, as we see Scotty trying to put diversion on. Scotty!
There you go. Oh, he's going to make...
He's using that draft well, as we just spoke about before, and he's going to have a look down the inside. He's going to sit behind and try and use the draft to get back up the front. I think using the draft in this particular moment is a good idea, because they're a bit spread out. They're about 10 seconds off the lead, and they really need to push together, work together, get back at the front. And we all know Scotty, with his Indycars, like to use the draft technique to work together and get to the front. So he might try and use that. He's got a bit of a bent wing, so it's going to hurt his aero, but nonetheless, he should be able to work together.
And that's one of those things about this track as well, with the drafting, etc. Is there any fuel saving? There doesn't look there's going to be any fuel saving, any kind of fuel saving, or any sort of tyre saving? What's your opinions on the fuels and tyres around here in these cars?
So the fuel number, again, I'm not sure what the fuel number is. We saw the fuel saving technique work last week. We even saw a car run out of fuel on the last lap, which actually gave Scotty the win. And I thought Scotty was going to win it no matter what with his strategy. He saved enough to get to the checker flag, but I'm sure admins will make it just more juicy this week. That's what we like to do here at SRW. Every week's different with numbers and strategy, races, and this week, makes it even more tighter. Makes the driver think about what they've got to do next. What's the best strategy for them? How can they beat their opponents? And, do I save fuel, run the risk, run those 1 second slower laps? Or do I take the risk and pit and try that undercut?
Should we take a... Okay, guys, so we're going to come to some... Thank you very much to DSL Welding Services for the action replay tonight. So we'll come to a few replays at the start here.
Oh, he's just lost the rear end under brakes and just tapped the back of Scotty and sent him around, which gave him that damage there. See another replay. He's just gone in. Oh, no, he's actually got net coated. And then that's caused him to spin straight in the back of Scott. I hate the word net code, but I think that's what happened there. Because there wasn't really contact, but there was.
Yeah, it's kind of when the cars kind of get drawn to and in non-iRacing world, etc., out there to all the viewers. I think it's sometimes it kind of looks like sometimes they kind of glue together the cars. Would I be right in saying that, Tyson, or is that not right with netcode? Or
well, yeah, they're going to make contact. That's how iRacing deems it. Even if you might not make the contact initially, that it still gives it still thinks you're going to go there. We're playing on the internet. the world of internet, I've got different speeds. You know, Shibby's got different speeds. Soddy's blah blah blah. We all got different ones. And then when we come to meet on the centre of the racetrack, sometimes it doesn't like that. But so far so good. You only get a few mishaps with the lags. We see a car here going into pit lane. So is this the pit window opening now? We're just nearly near the halfway mark. We're 2 minutes off. So it's going to be, you know, we could have that fuel number as we spoke about. Halfway is always a good way. He's going to take the undercut. Not sure if he'll take the tyres, because the tyres do take longer in the radical, because it has to lift the rear of the car and then the front of the car up on the old car and do fuel separately. So it does take that little bit extra time, probably about 30 seconds with fuel. So it's a big choice to make. Can you make that time up? Well, if there's a safety car later, would it be a good option?
Oh, true. And that's all the things that come into play, right?
That's right. And that's what I say to my teammates as well. You know, you try and get your tyres later in the race, because if it's a safety car, a lot of people won't take that advantage. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but we're here to race and make up those positions, especially if you're in the back half of the 10 or trying to go for that W and you're deep in the field. There's nothing what you see even guys doing in real life, take that little bit of a risk to get the reward. See Scotty back up into P6 now, pushing on. He's got a lot of speed. He's only 6 seconds off the leaders now. I remember a few laps ago I did say he was about 10, and now he's closed that gap up, and he's really pushing through. He's going up the inside here and gets the job done, and on the last corner. And then look at that, the top speed comes back and goes, nope, you ain't getting the position. So Scotty's just so powerful on the brakes here. And again, this is only a battle for P6 and 7, or P5 and 6 on track, sorry. And it's on. And a little further ahead, we see a move here. Tom's getting done for P4. Or as we say, car round.
Massive. Is that Nathan Verney there that's been sitting there? Yes, that's Nathan Verney been turning around in the SR8 there. It just seems like he's turned himself around. And the SR10 boys just working together there. And Nathan Verney just down a couple of spots there, and now another couple of spots and just getting it back on track. So seems like he hasn't done too much damage to those tyres, maybe? Who knows? And
we see Delaney back into P2 now after his couple of mistakes. He was in the lead and then spun, and then a few laps later he spun again, but he's now back into P2 and pushing on.
Thank you very much to DSL Welding Services for the action replay. Here we go. This is Nathan Verney on the action replay.
Yeah, this is his spin RSM on the brakes. He's lost the rear there, and it's already rotating around. And then he goes on the power, and he's just spun it. He's kept it in the middle of the track there, just to wait for those other guys before he does his flick spin. But yeah, just a bit unlucky there.
Oh, Adam Simpson, yes. I saw there in SDK, it said he's had a bit of a crash, but yeah, he just had nowhere to go there, did he?
He didn't do a flick spin, he got pushed around.
So a bit of a chain reaction of events, eh? There,
yeah, involved in one year, but he was in a really tough spot. A lot of people won't see around that corner. So depending on what you can see around, especially if you've got a car in front of you like he did. Oh, there's a moment right in front of Cowie.
Well caught. But Cowie's definitely going to pounce on him now. Come on, Cowie, going to pounce on his mate Bruce White here. Is he going to be able to make this move happen? Yeah, he's putting the pressure on. Just get out me way, bro.
He's just sitting behind at the moment, but Cowie went a bit deep there on the brakes. I think he was just being a bit too friendly to his teammate. Didn't want to give him the rough hustle. They want to work together and try and push
the commentator once again.
But
Blake Delaney having a massive run in the Martini car. Oh no!
I need to stop talking about Blake Delaney and spinning, because every time I mention it, he bloody goes around.
Curse of the commentator once again, Tyson. You're 5 for 5 tonight, bro.
Yep, and it's always been the fishy motorsport car. And yep, here he goes around. Mr. Drifter. He keeps off the wall, does he? Yes, he does.
He does too. I don't think you would have been able to keep that off the wall. It was an SR8, to be honest. These things look like they have a lot more power and grip under brakes. So,
Well,
or not, maybe.
Well, that's right. It depends which car we got here because they're both a bit different, and it's side by side, as I say all the time. The speed difference is in the straights for the 10, and in the corners. I think now this type of track, it's forced back towards the 8.
Yeah, I find the SR10s a touch easier to drive, but it's even worse than the SR8 because the SR8 already delivers you into this false sense of security, right? And then the SR8 kind of gives you a bit more confidence in the same car, and then I don't know, you can go wrong, especially in a mixed field like this. So.
Well,
as we've seen, it's been mixed up now between the SR8s and SR10s. It's really, really exciting.
Well, while we got the opportunity, just want to give a big shout out to all our viewers watching tonight for our big super show of round 2 of our Radicals. We're off next as well. I'm not sure what track we're up to next in our We're in Porsches next, so make sure you stick around for that. But I guess a big shout out to you guys. Thanks for the support and all our sponsors as well. We now tick past we're past the halfway mark, and you know these guys are starting to turn in that rhythm as we see a few more cars take to the pit lane.
Most definitely. So next we're going to a sprint with the Porsche GT3 Cup car at Canadian. Canadian Tire Motorsports Park.
Yeah.
I struggle to say that right because it's Motorsports Park, not Motorsport Park, because they actually do the motocross on the outside of the track as well. So you can't call it a Motorsport Park. You have to call it a motorsports park, apparently. So that's how the Canadians roll. So we'll just roll with how they go with the Canadians roll.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shame for me last night. I was looking forward to racing the TCR cars at that circuit. It's one of my favourite tracks there. It's a track you need to really get a rhythm with. If you make a mistake, you run off, especially at turn 3 and 4 there, and go off into the barrier. And then on the back part of the circuit, the double right-hander, it's just a really unique track to drive. So if you're interested in watching some action there, I guarantee you the Porsche Cup drivers will bring it there for sure.
Oh, 100%. And I think everyone's been nervous about the Porsche Cup race tonight. All week, to be honest. And as we were going through the... Adam says, wow. Scotty Rankin just had nowhere to go there. That was definitely not Scotty Rankin's fault. As he made contact at the start of the corner there, Adam Simpson, it seems like he's just gotten a bit sideways, and then Scotty Rankin has just kept his racing line by the look of that.
Well, we're going to definitely want to see a replay of that because I ended up missing that part. So.
The
rejoin.
Gone off track. Yeah. And Scotty Rankin's kept his race line and just... Wow, Scotty's kept it so well to go through that. Look at that. Wow, it's still...
Ooh, and then he moved over.
One spot. Wow, there's got to be some damage to both of those cars, surely.
Yeah, especially with the contact like that. They do have two faster pairs as well, so I think we've got to change for the lead.
Oh, we do. So Tom Guru with the fastest lap with 123.73. So just doing very, very well, but having this massive battle here with the SR8. And this is what we wanted this series to be as well, this battle between the SR8s and the SR10s at the Red Bull Ring. This is really the epitome of what racing is, you know? These two very, very different cars but very similar cars at the same time, racing around a track that's quite short. That is
and we
very,
see
very
the
high
pit
speed.
lane light up as we speak, as he goes into pit lane to take his pit stop now. And Scotty, again, he's up 4 seconds off the leader and sitting in the shadows there, pushing on. He's made a few mistakes, but he's, said he's going to take it to him. And today he's, on the back foot, but he's still pushing hard.
And honestly, we need to give a big special shout out to Andrew Cowan. Absolutely. Cowie is up 12 positions. He's up more positions than anybody else in this whole field. Right now, 13 positions now.
Yep,
I know it's
he's
just through the pit lane, but still, he is pushing. He knows this track. He is comfortable. He looks like he is comfortable right now. Come on, Mr. Cowie. Let's go. Come on, son. I'm excited. This is awesome.
He wanted to race this car. It's something different. He wanted to learn, and he's making his efforts there. And he's, he shows it. He's up 13 spots, 15 seconds off the lead, but he's still pushing. It's good to see. He hasn't got damage this week, and car's looking straight.
Very, very nice. Stayed out of the trouble. We still have Scotty Rattlegun Rankin on his heels here, on the heels of Nathan Verney. Apologies. On the heels here of Nathan Verney, we know Mr. Scotty Rattlegun Rankin, he is not going to let up. Mr. Nathan Verney in front of him, he has had a couple of setbacks this race, but he's still got some serious pace, and I'm sure he's going to keep on pushing on, and he'll become one of the men among warriors.
He's in pit lane. Blake Delaney is in pit lane. So again, as I said before, this pit lane will light up. We've got 15 odd minutes to go, and a ton of our front runners are starting to pit.
It'll be interesting how this comes out, because it won't be a long pit. It's definitely not a long pit here, so we're not going to see too much pit advantage, I expect.
Yeah, it's a very short pit lane, so the pit travel won't affect you much, as we saw with Scotty Cullen out the front. He did a drive-through penalty, and it didn't. Of course, it took him a few seconds back, but he's made that, that gap extinguished by pushing on. There's a few more cars in that picture as well. We see Delaney now back out on the track in 4th position and pushing hard. So the rejoin between the leaders and Delaney, it's going to be quite interesting to see how big that gap is, even though Blake did have his spin earlier.
I think another Cameron Edwards seemed to be sitting there in that 5th position, just kind of being comfortable with absolutely just taking advantage of the draft in front of him. But Mr. Bradley Hudson as well, having a great drive right now. He had a bit of a moment earlier, I think we saw in that car. So.
The car's looking straight too, so he's kept it nice and straight at his incidents, but he's sitting P5 and keeping it on, and now that's up to P3 because we got a few guys that have taken their pit stops.
It'll be interesting once we see how it all shuffles itself out after pit stops. We know it's a short pit stop, but you don't need long to be able to get an advantage around here, do you?
That's right, and as we see with Delaney as well, there's a few mistakes he made, and he's new. He's definitely new to this car. He's normally a supercar driver. He's pretty quick as well in the Porsche.
Yeah,
so
he's crazy quick.
Good to see him race in a few different categories, and the Radical is it's a fun car to drive, something different, and it took myself a good, I'd say, entire season to work out how to race it. And we see tonight Blake's making a few mistakes. We see Scott on screen now. He's raced this car, I think, his entire iRacing career, so that's why he's pretty quick.
Yeah, but I do love that. You know why I love it? Because it kind of makes me feel like, oh, they're humans too. Like when they get in cars they're not that familiar in, they're still stupidly quick, don't get me wrong. Like people like Blake Delaney, but you still go, oh yeah, maybe I've got a chance, or maybe I could do better. But these guys are just so dedicated to their craft. To be honest, these boys and these top boys are so dedicated to their craft that people like Blake Delaney sitting in third right now after that pit, just getting that advantage after the pit stop. These boys can be quick in a lot of things because they know their tracks. They know, they've got the muscle memory and they've got the feeling and all those sort of things. So I'm not sure if people are aliens. I think some people have just spent more time practicing and dedicating, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's what comes down to as well. Like, you got to practice and learn the car, learn the tracks, and then put those pieces together. It's just a big puzzle, and sometimes it's, works well, but sometimes people just expect to be quick. But there's nothing better than a bit of practice, and here at SRW, 2-hour system before we actually go into qualifying, so there's plenty of time to practice. These drivers have got no excuse not to be up there.
Nathan Verney, is he going to be... Sorry, yep, sorry. Oh, sorry. So Nathan Verney, he's on the battle here. Sorry to cut in there. But Nathan Verney on this battle here for Nick Schmellenberg. I think I've nailed that. Schmellenberg. I think I've nailed that. Nathan Verney absolutely piling on the pressure here.
He goes down the inside there because he puts the pressure on, as you said, and made him make a mistake. But the speed down the straight, is he going to have the inside line? I think he is.
Yes, Nathan Verney with a beautiful move.
But the crisscross is very powerful out of turn 1, as we see here now, because he's going to have the draft for turn 3.
Oh, and don't forget about Scotty Rankin on the charge behind them all as well. Scotty Rankin is absolutely on the charge after that earlier setback, so he is absolutely pushing now, and he's not got to let him go.
Car. His wing is being fixed. His pit crew has said, what, Scotty, we're throwing this one in the bin. We chucked a new wing on for him, and he's, as you said, he's on the charge. He's trying to push, as you see, our front two in the pit lane now. So these boys are about to. The pit lane is open. They've got 5 minutes or 6 minutes to go in this race. Bit over, and now I think these pit stops are complete. It's time for these boys to race the flag.
Ooh, it's coming. I can hear the drums rolling. Let's go. Come on. After this pit stop's going to definitely separate the men from the boys.
As you see Scotty go around the outside and he gets the move done.
Come on. Oh, that's a track limit.
Yeah, good driving there by Scotty.
Again.
Pushing extra hard to get that job done and trying to stay in the tail of Nathan in front of him.
Oh, push ton coup. That's French for push.
So Scotty Callahan is now still in P2 after the pit stops, as I said, but Blake Delaney's right behind him, 7/10 behind him, pushing hard, trying to keep into that podium spot and maybe even get second place here. 3.1 seconds. We've seen Scotty close the gap from 9 down to 3. Let's see what these boys can do now, because this is the battle for the podium. We've got 6 seconds away from Cameron Edwards in P4, so the battle up front, it's on.
Oh, let's go, boys. And I'm loving that this track is separated the boys between the SRW, the SR8s and the SR10. It's so cool to mix it up between these boys, and they're just absolutely battling. And it's awesome. That's what we wanted to see how close these cars are. It seems like they're pretty far apart for longer tracks, but on these tighter little tracks, this is exciting. Come on.
It's balanced it out, and Scotty, as he said last week, he's going to put it to the boys. This week, Delaney with a 23.6. I think that's the fastest lap so far. He's pushing quite hard.
Oh, absolutely. Push.
Yeah, 23.69 from Blake there is definitely the fastest lap. Oh, we hear the clutch there, and he's saving the fuel, so he might be short on fuel. Oh, no, Scotty Reagan. The Callahan around, sorry, around.
Scotty. Oh, that was Scotty.
Oh, no. As we see the best guys out there making those mistakes.
And as you know, especially with these SR8s, they seem to fall off a cliff a lot harder than the SR10s do. So that might be what we're seeing right there. But Scotty Callahan's on fresh tyres, so that was what would be then. Sorry, apologies. So it would be a cold tyre situation rather than a rubbish tyre cliff situation.
Yeah, when we see Scott Rankin as well, and a lot closer to Nathan in front of him, and we'll try and get a replay of Scotty's little self spin there, but I think he just ran up on the curb and ran wide.
Yeah, is it all self error? Is it unforced? Could
have been looking into the mirrors as well, but yeah, just a bit of uncharacteristic, as you said. He made a little mistake.
He was braking on the curb, though. He was braking on the curb. That's where he locked up. He locked up on the outside curb, on the entry to the corner, into the solid part of his braking when he was trailer braking. When he went solidly on the brakes, he was on the curb. That's what I reckon. That's what it looked like to me. And then he had no chance by the time he went to the exit.
He's a bit far behind now, but he's definitely going to push into Delaney in P2. He's got 2.4 seconds to catch for the win tonight, and there's only 4 minutes to go. So that gap, he's got to do it quick.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Scotty Rankin's still just hunting Nathan Verney here. Nathan Verney seems to have fallen off the back and out of the draft there. So we'll see how Mr. Scotty Rankin can bring it up there. But we've got who is our best lap sitting at right now?
Yeah, so Delaney's still the fastest car out there. He just did a 23.8 that lap, so he's still pushing on, making PBs. Well, not personal best, but green sectors at least, and pushing hard. And Scotty runs a bit right, does some of that tick-tock lawn mowing on the side, just clipping the grass.
Yeah, bit of dusting the old furniture on the outside of the track, right?
That's right. Hopefully not doing that cooling the tyre technique as we saw in that 24-hour race.
How bad was that? We won't go into that. We've only got 3 minutes to go, but we can go into that we should do a whole full podcast about that. That's right. I watched that reback and I was like, that is disgusting. But yeah, we don't have any of that in our league, so come and watch ours, not theirs.
That's right.
Let's go. Make sure, and that said as well, as we're coming into the dying moments of this race also, make sure you please hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe button on YouTube, make sure you follow us on all our socials, YouTube and Facebook. We're getting a massive following out there now, please guys, jump on board, whether you want to race or just watch, or just support. Make sure you just come in and cheer on your favourite racer.
Yeah, that's right. And we got 7 tenths now between Blake Delaney, so he's really pounding on the pressure here with 2 minutes to go. And Delaney, after he spins, could still be on for a win.
100%, man. He's on the full loud pedal right now, isn't he? He's like, no, I've got enough tyre, I've got enough gas here, I'm going now.
And he's got enough straight line speed as well, so it's going to be interesting to see how he can use that to his advantage.
And I'm sure he's not happy about being behind an SR8 as well. Can he take him under brakes? We know these SR10s have got a bit more under brakes, but not as much extra speed. So these SR8s, I think these SR8s have a little, if you can balance them nicely, you can balance them nicely.
Look at the corner work that Delaney has to use there to keep the car straight in these high speed. He's getting a lot of oversteer, understeer, and he has to correct the steering wheel, but then it comes on the straights and you're just straight back on the car in front.
It almost looks like it has too much grip, almost, Blake Delaney's car.
Well, if you look at the tenths, he's 5 tenths now. Let's watch this gap close, 6 tenths, and now he's into the last corner, and it's going to just come down to, I reckon, about 2 by the end of the straight here. That's the white flag also being waved, so he's got 1 lap to do it. It's 2 tenths now, 1 tenth Oh, look at that 1/10 in the braking zone. So that straight line speed.
Oh.
Can he hold on for one more lap? It's on.
Ooh, we got one more lap, and then we'll come into our white flag, or are we on white flag? Did we
We're
just
on
see
white
Barney?
flag. We're on white flag. As Blake Delaney goes around the outside with the straight line speed. Oh, it's done, but he goes a bit deep.
He's going wide under
The
pressure.
crisscross. He says, nope. Alex is like, nope, this is my race. When you ain't taking this, I'm showing everybody that I'm here to win.
And Blake Delaney come back under the braking point, under the brakes in that SR10. We're in a battle between the SR10 and the SR8 now. Right now, the drivers are irrelevant. It's the cars versus cars now. Which car? These guys are so close right now. It's a car versus car right now. Who's going to do this?
I think Blake's got it in the bag now. That straight line speed's going to take him to the checker. But, oh, what a race here, because it's going to come to the last few corners, and that straight line speed's just going to get him there as he goes around the outside. Oh, he's used to
he's
the
going track limit, so he's going to have to slow
That's
down
it.
and give it back to
Oh,
Alex.
no, Alex has got it. This is going to be close.
Woo!
Yeah, slow down
What a
penalty. He had to
race.
back out of it. He had to back out.
Oh, it's huge.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
It's his
We had a
body, the
massive...
Washby, Callahan in P3.
Woo! That was a massive incident there between Scotty Rankin, it seems, Cameron Edwards, and Bradley Hudson, etc., etc. It seems like finally at the front we had a massive battle between the SR8s and the SR10s. But in the back, a couple of places back there, in the mid-pack there, we actually had that battle all come together. So we come to a DSL Welding Services action replay for the happenings on this last lap. Wow, man, what a race!
So Scotty Rank's gone around on a self-spin again, made that last mistake, which cost him his position, and Cameron Edwards, I think, as well. Yeah, so Cameron's had a spin as well, which made Scotty take that position for P3.
Scotty Callahan, what a profitable, patient race from him. So here's a race result. I might give the race results to you if you'd like to go, Tyson.
Yeah, Alex, John taking our P1, and he showed us there that that 8 will not shake down those 10. So big congratulations to you, Alex. John, that was a perfect race. And Blake Delaney in P2 for Fishy Motorsports. And Scotty, again, his favourite position, P3, 2 weeks in a row as he smashes his wing against the wall. Scotty Callahan, the privateer, car number 1, our series champ last season. Well done. And then I think we got Cameron Edwards in P4 and Nathan Verney in our P5. So top 5. I must say that was an exciting race. I enjoyed that. So I think we're getting our drivers just coming into the green room now. I'll just go down and find them. We've got Scotty Cow already there waiting for us. So I'll drag him up. And Toddy, here's all yours.
Apologies. Just had a bit of disconnection. Sorry. I missed that last little bit. Sorry.
So
Tyson?
Oh, how are we, guys? Sorry, I'm doing burnouts on the track.
Yeah, we got congratulations, Scotty. A pretty drama-full race for you, mate. A few, spinnies and then a drive-through penalty, but that didn't stop you from putting yourself on the podium, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah, I put way too much pressure on myself there. Bad enough I'm starting from the back, let alone getting drive-throughs and having spins. Yeah,
that's right. You wanted to definitely put on the pressure and make yourself drive at your best. And, from where you were in the middle of that race to crawl back all the way back to a podium, yes, you got a bit lucky with a spin on the end, but you're in the right place at the right time, mate. And that's what racing's about.
Yeah. Well, I'll take it. I mean, I had a few, so that'll even it out. I'm just going back to have a look at the incident. I didn't even know what happened. I thought he backed out.
Yeah, so that was the incident between you in the middle section. I think it was too wide and a little bit of contact, but race control deemed it your fault. But you said, I don't care, race control, I'm going to push on and go third. So well done, mate.
Yeah, no, a bit of fun. It was good to be on par with the SR10s for a change.
Oh, well, you made that very entertaining for us, and seeing the straight line difference for them in the 10s down the straight, but then you had all the speed in the mid corners and the slow corners. So well done. Any of your sponsors, bro? I know you haven't got any, especially on the side of your washy car. If you wash them off, there might be some under there. But anybody want to give a shout out to or thanks?
No, I don't have any sponsors. I just have a bit of fun. So yeah, SRW, it's a great league, and you guys for broadcasting it. It's all fun.
Well, thanks again for having us back again for round 2. You were the guy who pushed it, and Series Champ, you want to race these. You love these cars, so a big thanks to you too, bro. That's right,
Yeah,
big thanks to Scotty.
Yeah, well, hopefully they stay around too.
Well, after the show we've had tonight, we had 20 cars on the grid. Not all of them started, but they were here, nonetheless to race, and 11 cars in the lead lap.
I just watched the replay. He stayed on the track, whereas I was thinking he takes the normal racing line, which is off track on that corner. Mm-hmm. But he stayed on track. That's what happened. No worries.
Right. Well, anyway, Scotty, up 10 spots from your starting position, and again, congratulations on your third. And have to drag in Mr. Blake Delaney from P2. Well, Blake, I'm going to call you Spinny because you spun out about 10 times.
I don't know what you're talking about. Did you see that, though? Just the one spin that I
had? We saw him every time, mate.
Tell you, how lucky was I to keep it off the wall, though?
Yes, the spin at the back section of the track, you hit those brakes and then kept it off the wall. I think you had a spin in turn 3 as well. Every single time I mentioned your name, you decided to spin 3 corners later. So apologies for the commentator's curse.
Yeah. No, fair enough. No dramas. It's I tell you what, I drove the whole race. I said to Simo, lap 1, what's going on here, mate? I've passed them 3 cars down the straight. I thought it was supposed to be a fixed setup. And he goes, oh, no, there's 8s and 10s in this one. I'm like, oh, gee whiz.
Yes, the power down the straight is ridiculous. And then it seemed they had the difference in the corners. Is that what happened?
Yeah, around the back of the track, it was, especially following in the draft, you can't catch those little cars. But the 10 down the straight was just ridiculous. It was like having no wing versus full wing or another 150 horsepower. It was ridiculous. Yeah, that DRS difference, as we said. You seem to be catching him by 3/10 in that last bit there, Alex, at the lead. You were 6/10 away, and then all of a sudden you were zooming straight on the back of him. Yep. I wasn't sure about the laps left because obviously it's a time race. So if they had gone another lap, as you probably saw on my in lap, I ran out of fuel coming into the pits. So I was saving enough to make sure that I could get 2 laps done. But then when I saw the white flag was coming out on the second last corner, yep, tried to get him but couldn't get him. Yeah, I saw you run a bit wide, but and nonetheless, you had a good race. Started P6, and then P2. That's still pretty good. A few spins here and there, but any of your sponsors, man, on that great P2 finish, you want to give a shout out to? Yeah, for sure. Well done to Alex, though. He did an amazing job, and Scotty also had a great race. So it was good fun. Lots of fun for the. I reckon I'll run this for the rest of the season. It's pretty cool. But yeah, thanks to the Fishy Boys, West End Motor Group, Parramatta Peugeot Professional, Parramatta Great Wall, Haval, West End Mazda Parramatta Isuzu Ute, DC Shades, Relax Marine and Game Fishing, Infinity Designs, and the man who puts all the setups together, except for when it's a fixed race, Precision Sim Training, Josh Thomas. Well, again, congratulations from us, brother. Sorry for interrupting. No, it's all good. I forgot it. It's all good. It was Adrenaline Images. They take the best images online. Well, you heard it here first, guys. Again, congratulations to Blake on his P2, Mr. Spinny. We are looking forward to seeing you racing the Porsches next. I wasn't, but maybe.
Well, I hope to see you there, mate. And well done, and I will see you next time on track.
Cheers, mate.
And now we'll try and get our race leader in here. Toddy, I'll let this one to you while I get ready for my race control duties. Alex, how you doing, mate? Congratulations on the race win. Some awesome action out there tonight from yourself, and those last few laps you had to defend for it.
Yeah, I was probably more nervous to see Blake behind me because I knew the car he was in. Scott, I felt like I had sort of a bit of a chance, even though he was a bit quicker outright. But definitely to defend from the SR10, I was just really trying to do it for the SR8 boys.
Well, you definitely did. We know Scotty was definitely going to be a threat there, but a few little mistakes from him, and you were straight into that position from P7, and then
Yeah.
you held and controlled the race, and those guys, as I called Blake, the Mr. Spinny, because he had a few spins, and you held him off quite well there on the last few laps. So well done on that, Alex.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I just like to chuck the relative up and turn the, or not the relative, to the no, it is the relative, the plus minus thing. Anyway, just try and be consistent with the laps and turn off the standings relative thing, so I don't see who's catching me, and just try and concentrate and put in consistent laps.
Yeah, you did a good job because he was pushing it, he was coming quick, and every lap it was just that gap was getting closer and closer, and then he made a mistake on that last lap when he passed you, the crisscross, and you defended it well, and then you got the job down the inside, and yeah, it was awesome to watch. It was a great entertainment for us, that's for sure.
No, that's good. I knew that it was going to be like 1 or 2 laps to go, and it's going to be on, and we'll just try and give a good show.
Well, excellent again. Congratulations on your P1 victory here, Alex, for our round 2. And is there any sponsors, anybody you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, I have to give a shout out to my sponsor, the Top Split TV. They're doing all of the Skippy softs on a Sunday night, so a shout out to them. And just a thanks to the guys for the good racing. And I'm loving the SR8 versus SR10. I was happy to do it for the SR8 boys.
Yes, congratulations, Alex, yet again. And I think we're going to take a quick break here while we're getting ready for the Porsche race around Canadian Tire. And yeah, I think we'll leave it there.
Well, much love, guys. Sorry, I had a bit of a crash out there, so I'm back online now. Apologies, technical issues. So thank you very much, Tyson. That was a absolute. I don't want to swear, but I was really excited about it. That was such an awesome race. Very, very awesome.
I'll be right back, and I'll just jump up and grab Jamie.
Cool, guys. So we'll just go into a. Okay. So we are still live. We're coming into our. Can everyone hear? Me? Can everyone hear me or no? No, yeah. Okay. Oh, so we're not live to them. welcome back, actually, tonight. I'm loving this Super Show. Our first race tonight was absolutely epicness, and you're back on screen here tonight for Sim Racing World's coverage of the GT3 Porsche Cup Round 2 this for our Season 3, actually, for our Porsche Cup, but it's the first season that we've actually done our Super Show tonight. So we've got our SR8s and our SR10s versus our SR10s, followed then by tonight, part of our Super Show is the Porsche GT3 Cups. This is going to be very interesting tonight. I'm on comms here with Mr. Jamie Dyke tonight. What do you reckon about tonight? There's a very interesting car on this track combination. What do you reckon, Jamie?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be difficult. Rear engine, you know, a lot of balance needed under brakes. It's tough for the drivers. Should be good, interesting racing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a few safety cars, possibly. I think.
Yes, definitely.
That's what it seems like. I know a lot of these drivers have been talking about this track all week, especially with the TCRs. With the TCRs last night, they were like, a lot of the drivers that they're in driver chat afterwards were saying, yeah, it might be all right in the TCRs, and we've seen some really good racing in the TCRs, but it might be a different case when we come into the into these Porsche GT3 Cup cars, which are much harder to drive. Hence the no ABS and no traction control, just that massive ass rear wing on the back of it. So interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these cars have a lot of rear weight, and they're very light. So with this track, the bumps, they get unloaded over all the crests. So, you know, one wrong slip, one little slide, and the car will go. So it's very difficult.
You know, one thing I was thinking too, honestly, Jamie, I think it'd be awesome to actually, you're a bit of a race master on the old iRacing and stuff. And have you got a lot of experience on this track? Because I'd really love to see you see a bit of a cockpit cam, and you take us through the gearage and how you should, a bit of a quick bit of a quick track guide, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Motorsport is one of two I'm strongest at. I'm very confident around here, and this track actually catches a lot of people off guard with all the bumps, and you just got to be very progressive on the throttle, especially turn 2, 3, even going down the hill to the hairpin. You just got to be very smooth. It's one of those tracks that promotes smooth driving, and if you're not smooth, you're not going to get it right.
Is there particular spots you need to kind of look out for? I haven't spent a hell of a lot of time in this track, so is there any pinch points that you think on this track that is going to cause a bit of trouble between drivers, or maybe cause a safety car?
Oh, look, it's all around the track. You've got turn 1, which has got bumps on the inside, and it's wide enough to lend you 3 wide.
Okay.
Which is very hairy, because turn 2 you can only take 2 wide, and cars will try to go 3 wide. With the crest in the middle of turn 2, you usually see a lot of people overshoot. You can't overdrive the corner, and if you overdrive the corner, you're out in the weeds and into the tyre barrier. Turn 3 is a very good corner for passing and battling. It's really one of 2 spots that you can do it cleanly and not lose a lot of time. Coming down to turn 4 under the Continental Bridge, a lot of lift and coast, a little bit of throttle, lots of bumps. You got to brake hard into the double right-hander. The car's unloaded with a negative camber crest in the middle of it, very unsighted. And you got to get on the power early, easier to run wide onto the back straight. As we see Mr. Fritz going past the safety car now. Keep it full pinned. You get over this little crest and down 2 gears, brake hard, and then let it flow. There's bumps on this corner as well. You try and run the curb. You downshift another time. You run the curb. Second last corner. Last corner's got a lot of bumps on exit. Got to watch the accelerator. Easy to run wide. Also, probably that sequence of corners is the only other passing spot where you won't lose any time. Pit entry. Pit entry is key. A lot of people stuff up pit entry.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that in the F3s and the TCRs last night. That was pretty hairy moments. But it seems some people got some penalties for it and some people didn't. Is there an outside, inside one exit you get, etc.? Or?
Not really. With the pit entry, it's there is a pit entry line, but iRacing don't enforce it until you get to the island separator. But pit exit, there's a pit exit line that runs all the way up, halfway up to turn 2, and it is critical. iRacing do penalise on that line. So
I see.
You're more likely to bin it into the wall on pit entry, or miss pit entry completely. But on pit exit, you're more likely to pick up a unsafe release.
I see, yeah, because we saw a couple of guys actually spin as they came into the pits last night.
It's a very difficult one. It's a lot like Watkins Glen.
Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to really, really down power before you even get it in there. And
Probably
if you...
the only benefit to motorsport is the actual entry to pit lane is off the racing line, where Watkins is on the racing line. But
yeah, true.
It's a sharper corner here at motorsport, so you get what you get. But
yeah,
been qualifying now, so let's see what the boys can do.
Yeah, awesome. That was the end of our practice, and we're into our qualifying now. Oh, look at that beautiful sun shining through the sign there. You gotta love a bit of iRacing. I do love they garnish it with awesomeness.
Tell you what, I haven't looked much into it, but I really like Harry Dodds' livery this season.
Oh, yes, but Harry Dodds had a beautiful livery last season.
Oh, he always does. Tyson does a good job with the liveries.
Oh, he's even. Oh, look at that. That's even stepped up even better. Wow, I loved it last season. That's even better. Wow. You've outdone yourself, son. That is well done. That is awesome. Yeah, sorry. We just got Shibby in my back here saying, don't give Mr. Old Mate Tyson a bigger head than he's got, and I agree, to be honest. But thank you for your partner comms for the last race. And it was awesome. It was awesome. So we'll see how this race goes tonight. How many in the field we've got at the moment? We've got 15 in the field at the moment, guys. So it looks like if they're not in yet, they might not ever be in. So we're looking like we've got a field of 15 tonight here. On board here with Richard Mayer.
So who do we think are the big contenders tonight?
Oh, honestly, I could say all the big names and the guys that have done their stuff and all the rest of it, but I'm a bit of a fan of Benjamin Siren just because I've been here from the beginning of SRW and I've seen him kind of burgeon into a very fast driver through the AMs into a pro driver. So I think he might be consistent enough to hold it through. He might not qualify that best, Benjamin Siren, but I reckon he might finish on the podium at least tonight. Just for the simple fact that he might be patient enough to let it all happen in front of him. But we don't know how many safety cars are going to be and what the pit strats are going to be, etc. So who knows, Jamie?
Yeah, well, we don't have who we're missing. We're missing Matthew Bowler. He's not in tonight. He's going to take a drop back in the championship. Barber and Hughesy are in. P2 and P3 in the championship. They'll be one to watch. Benjamin Simon, obviously he had a lot of bad luck last week and just consolidated on his position. So we're looking for him to push through. Christopher Ireland got some good pace in the supercar. Let's hope it can transfer over to these unweighted things.
Ooh, yeah. And that's interesting, actually. What is the difference in driving style between, say, something like this and very similar, I suppose, similarly powered V8? You know, just being the engine in a totally different spot. How do you alter your driving style yourself?
Well, one thing is weight, and obviously the more weight you have in the car, the more you can trail brake into a corner.
Yeah.
Versus a car like a Porsche or a GT3 or GTE, even up into the Formula cars and LMP2, you really want to brake in that straight line. And these cars, you're going to want to brake in a straight line. It's going to be very smooth driving to get it right.
So for us little budding iRacers, I suppose, out there viewing, etc., is there a brake bias? Should you push it more to the front, etc., because the engine is at the back, or is it more of a tire pressure thing, or?
No, it will be biased, and like every car, you're going to have more rear bias at the start of a stint. Because you got all the weight in the back of it. But on top of that, these Porsches being rear engine, you throw a lot more bias rearwards to begin with, which you'll see people on cold tyres really struggle to not lock a rear going into a corner. If you don't brake that car straight, that bias can really bite you.
I see. So as you guys are driving, are you actually adjusting it from more to the rear to more to the front as you go throughout the race?
Correct, yes. As the weight comes off the rear, you put the bias forward ever so slightly, just to keep the balance in the car. If you throw it too far forward...
massive moment from the SRW TV car in the boat back there. Hit a bit of grass and slapped it into the wall. And sorry to cut you off there, sorry.
No, that's all right.
But most definitely, you know, so you guys adjusting that, man, that is cool. That is cool. And all you guys out there and in the iRacing family and just in the sim racing in the sim racing world and just out there in viewer land, make sure you hit that notification bell and make sure you give us a big like and a love and share the love and subscribe on all our social medias. Big shout out to DSL Welding Services, Pagnian Advanced Simulations, for all your glorious and amazing sponsorship. Thank you very much. And also our BC crew. Got to thank you all, and our RC crew as well. So this season we've taken a bit more on board as a community, and we're working together to make this even better than it's ever been. So thank you very much for being here to follow and watch, and make sure you tell the rest of everybody and tell all your mates. So enough from the shameless plug.
Christopher Ireland just went to the top on a 68. As Mr. Stephen has an off.
I was thinking that earlier. Maybe Chris Island. We know Chris Island is fast. If he's on a track that he loves in this car, he is stupidly fast.
Yeah, you can't count Chris out in the SISS Send It stable.
Oh yeah, most definitely. He's always a little bit underwater, but he knows how to paddle, so it's all good. With a pool master car.
Especially, you've got JT and Corey there. Any tips you need? JT being also precision sim training. He knows his cars. One of the best guys to learn from. So Christopher's always going to be up there.
It's going to be interesting to see how all these boys kind of slot into where they work on this track, because you have to work this car and you have to drive this car in a totally different way. I've been doing a bit of practice in these Porsche Cups, and I kind of do one all right lap out of about 5 now, which is all good, which it was pretty bad, but I'm a bit of a rookie, etc., etc. But all the gear, no idea. Pretty much that's my game. Not that good gear, but no idea still. But I'm trying to learn. But especially with all that sort of balances of tire pressure and balancing your biases and all that sort of stuff, is massive point from Steven Sigovich was that.
That was Dean.
Oh, Dino
have a spin. These are also with the model. These tires take a lap or two, most likely 2 to 3 laps to come up to temp properly with the long straights. So it's very much you want to be a ballerina around this track. You want to dance the car, be very smooth and light with it, but obviously brake hard when you need to.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I find these cars really hard to dance with, if you know what I mean, on the brake pedal and stuff. I find that they're very sensitive and they kind of lock up quite a bit and stuff like that. Is that a brake bias thing? Maybe out there in viewer land, you guys are having this same little bit of issues with these cars, maybe. So that's why I'm throwing out these questions. So.
No, it's the car. It's a combination of the car, how light it is, how the weight distribution in it, and the tires. It's very much like a GT car, a GT3 or a GTE, without all the aids. You have to brake it in a straight line. Can't pinch a tire. Being lighter, they haven't got as much weight under braking as, say, a supercar does or a GT3 car does. It's not a Mercedes. It's difficult, but if you get it right, it's very rewarding. Obviously, these cars don't have anti-roll bar adjustments during the race. It's very much...
David Leslie there with a little bit of in the 666 car, having a bit of a moment there. Sorry. Sorry to cut you off there, bro. Sorry, I just cut out there a little bit.
Mate.
But 100%, we're coming into the last 3.5 minutes of our qualifying here. So we're coming into some pretty awesome stuff going on right now. Who have we got in first? Chris Island's still holding that first place there with the best time. Oh, he
didn't have a great sector 3 that lap as well, so if he can put it together, he can actually improve on that. He went purple in sector 1. He did a personal best in sector 2. I don't know who's done quickest in sector 2. And Chris was actually down in sector 3 when he set that lap.
Oh, look at that beautiful new livery there from Mr. Steven Sigovich. It's weird not to see him in the white, so maybe me giving him ribbing about always being in white has finally gotten through to him, and he's actually come out with that thing, and that thing looks so much cooler than the last one. That's so cool, man. That is awesome. Well done. Very good job. And can I please have one? I'm part of the broadcast team. Can I please have one? I don't want the silvery one. I want the Dark Knight Rider one that he's got. Come on. I'm just putting out a first call for one for me, please, when you get around to it. Oh, he's got so much on his plate. And these guys, big shout out to SRW as well. Sim Racing World TV. Please, guys, show your support. Share to your friends. The rest. Big shout out to DSL Welding Services, Pagnian Advanced Simulations, Dragon RC, and our BC crew and our RC crew as well. So, yeah, awesome crew.
Both Greg's done a personal best in Sector 1. Sinker, Mr. Stephen and Dean have both done personal bests in Sector 1 and
there's
Sector 2.
almost 1,000th of a second between second and third there, but they're coming around for their last lap now as well. These boys are pushing hard. Come on. They're all on greens. Let's go.
Stephen pips Dean. The battle. What does Dean do?
Oh, a big drift. That's what he does. Sorry. I'm probably going to get in trouble for that. No, I won't. He's an absolute legend. Hey. Oh, what an absolutely amazing qualifying so far. And as we come through to the last stages, absolutely awesome qualifying. Greg Leak now coming through with his best time was a 1:18.56. And he's sitting on oranges at the moment. Will he get a green for the next sector? Oh, whoo-hoo. That is quality over. Sorry, I must be misreading something. Sorry. So here we go. I might leave it to you, Tyson. Here we go. Sorry,
Tyson?
Jamie.
Toddy.
Bloody hell. Man, just a transfer from first to second. Sorry.
Oh, good, mate. In first, we got Christopher Ireland from Ireland. P2, Alex Court has taken it away. First appearance from Alex. I can't remember him racing round one. P3, Greg Barber. It'd be a good, strong push from those boys at Crisscross with Husey running beside him. Richard Mayer, P5. Benjamin Siren, P6. Look out for Siren. He's quick. P7, Jake Edwards, unlucky with a few incidents last week. He'll be looking to improve. P8, Harry Dodds. P9, Scotty Rankin coming off a not too bad race in the Radicals. P10, Callan Hodgkinson. P11, David Leslie. P12, Daniel Fritz. P13, Greg Leak. P14, Sinker, Mr. Steven Sinkovich. P15, Dean. And race control, Mr. McAvoy rounding at the back. Let's just see how much congestion we get into turn 1 and 2 here.
It's gonna be interesting to see on a standing start with these cars. No ABS, no traction control. Keep that in mind, guys. When it comes down to these cars, all that really, the reason why they've got that massive wing on the back of them is because they've got no adjustable front splitter. There's nothing there. It's literally a lot of that body kit's just for show. Wider wheels, etc., so you can get better camber. But that rear wing is we got a jump start
from Ben.
Oh no, Benjamin, he was one of my earlier. That might have been a bit of a commentary curse there, I think.
Possibly.
Start. Oh, one of the SRW cars coming back off track and then back on again. Beautiful save, but he has slotted himself back into the back of the field. Chris Ireland slotted back down to the 4th place now. with a mixed start from everybody. I think it seems it's caught everybody off guard without the ABS and traction control. Especially with race info.
Jake Edwards peels off the horseshoe. It's unlucky for him. That was Scotty Rankin, turn 1, having a tank slapper on cold tyres.
Was he turning left or right?
he was doing a massive S around the corner. Doesn't always go well.
Oh yeah, true. He doesn't know how to turn left and then right really quickly. That's the thing. He knows how to turn left really good.
Yeah, Rankin, these aren't Indycars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He can turn left like really awesome. And then but he's shown through different classes of races and different classes of cars. He's shown his class, but as we see on board here with Greg Barber, absolutely hunting Alex Gordon right now.
He's driving on the edge. You can see, there's a lot of wheel work under cold tyres, but you don't want to chew them out on cold tyres. You just want to.
But at the same time, Greg Barber's got a lot more confidence under cold tyres. Is he chewing them out, or is he just trying to chew out the competition? Maybe put a bit of pressure on there just for his teammates. He's got 2 of his teammates right behind him. Absolutely beautiful racing from these guys. It's not an easy track to drive on these cars, so I'm surprised we haven't had more offs yet.
As we got Ben Siren's just leaving the pits now. He's going to stay on the lead lap, but he's 45, 46, 47 off the lead. He'll be hoping for a safety car. Callum moves out of the way. That's David Leslie through. Probably some smart driving early.
I think so. That's the way I would take it. That's the way I would take it. I would be very I would say slow, very early, but I would try and stay as much as I could into the draft and just be careful with the car. But as you see with these boys here, Chris Island, trying to put the elbows out. Just as I said that, I was just about to make the comment that he's put the elbows out and he's holding it off for his teammate, but he's not. Chris Island just absolutely on the hunt here, putting the pressure on, split the Poolmaster cars in half right there with the Crisscross Racing boys. Absolutely split those boys in half. What a beautiful move there. That was absolutely beautiful, to be honest. They both gave him enough space as well. And now he's putting on the pressure on the rest of the boys. He might have had a bit of a questionable start, but now he's definitely making up the pace. Come on, son. On the inside. Is he going to be able to make it? Just a bit of sliding pressure, putting the elbows out. With the number 22 car, he's not going to let up. He's going to be able to take the over and under. No. Chris Island up and securing that second position.
It's very smart from Greg to pull out of that one. The last corner's very bumpy and you don't want to be on the outside on a fresh set of tyres there. So these Crisscross boys will just tuck in. Being a sprint race with the feature coming up with the invert, they'll just want a clean sprint race.
I think these Crisscross boys might be taking a page out of the Fishy Boys playbook, I think. Just working together, being patient. And I think that's why, you guys are, I think, big shout out to the Fishy Motorsports boys, because you guys are the biggest inspiration for me to get into sim racing, to be honest. I watched you guys since the start of COVID and even before that. So, big shout out to you boys. So I think these guys are taking a lot of play pages out of the books of the piranhas. So I think we might see. I think somebody needs to start a new team called Shark Motorsports or something. Maybe I should start it and just start recruiting some boys who's coming. Bring it to you.
This top four battle has brought Harry Dodds and Richard Mann into the mix. So they'll be looking to improve on their position. They won't want to be patient around here.
Exactly right. But Chris Island's going to be wanting to push this out, push out as much as he can, and push it out as far as he can ahead of these boys.
I can't see Chris protecting the tyres here. He needs to this gap, break the draft, and get away from Alex as quickly as possible.
Oh!
Got a car off.
That was Mr.
Dodgy's
Harry
front
Dodge
line.
on the outside in that beautiful new livery. Oh,
And he's
it doesn't
actually
look like he's damaged it though. But he's brought it on reasonably back on well. But it's hard on these cars.
he's pinched the front going over the bumps, and it's just escorted him straight off.
Oh yeah, it's the worst thing you want to do in these GT3 Cup cars as well. You don't want to damage that front splitter. It's not adjustable, so if you damage it, you've got basically 2 points of downforce on that car. That front splitter and that massive rear wing. If you damage that front splitter, especially when you're coming through you see it in the American tracks when you go through the sausage curbs, etc., and you see it on these and Canadian tracks as well when it's a bit of a smoother one, but you have to ride as much as you can on track limits. That's when you see a lot of damage on cars, or minor damage that can actually have some pretty major results, we should say.
Definitely. As Callan's having a good look at David here. Very aggressive.
Oh, come on, son.
Position.
Oh no, Mr.
From the
Chris
lead.
Island. He was so pushing so hard. He was. Come on. But we know he got the pace. We know he's got the pace to bring it up. But as we know, strength in numbers, guys. Strength in numbers. As we know in strength in numbers, when you have teammates around you, even if you've got strength in numbers and you've got enough people in the series, sometimes if you can fall back between people and all the rest of it, sometimes you can find sometimes not as experienced team member behind you that can happen.
As
Rubbin's
Christopher
racing,
Island,
but there's some door panel rubbing right here.
Christopher Island's just come into the pits. It's an unscheduled pit stop. I don't think there was a pit stop in race 1.
No, because we've got 2 sprint races tonight for the GT3 Cups.
So
He's 2 sprint races.
He's come down the hill. It's very, very nice here. Under brakes. He's still under brakes. He's tried to trail it in. He's locked the rear there.
But it looks like he's under brakes still on the inside apex curb.
So he's pinched the rear trying to pull it up. And that's gotten the rear slide out. And as he's corrected, he's just escorted himself off the track. So unfortunate for Chris because he was flying.
He was absolutely pushing. And that's what you see, and that's what I really loved about. I'm not sure if you've been an F1 fan last week. They just, talking about pushing and and actually pushing these cars really hard. And you see when people get. Oh no! What a massive moment, Callan Hodgkinson. Woo-hoo-hoo. That is not cool. I'm not sure I saw what was backing up to that or what led up to that, so I'm not sure we can make a decision on that or even a comment. I'm not sure about you. Jamie, how did you see that?
I think he went for it looked a little desperate to me. He went for the curb where really he was up far enough. He didn't have to touch the curb. If David had tried to squeeze him, a little bit of door banging would have been fair there. But he took more curb to give David a little more room, and unfortunately that sent him straight into him. Jake Edwards.
Massive.
Jake's all over Dean here.
It's a big thank you to DSL Welding Services for the
Under
action replay.
brakes. Dean's locked the rear there. Jake's. Oh, that's just an error. Jake
Yeah,
hasn't
nowhere to go. Jake, that wasn't, yeah.
caught him completely off guard, and if he had a locked up, he was going in the wall. So nothing he could have done, unfortunately for Jake, and he's probably gonna.
But it did seem like both of those cars were very wide on the racing line, to be honest. If I was looking at it critically, they were both kind of at fault because they were both quite off the racing line.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but this is what I mean about you really got to be a ballerina on this track. You can't push the car too much. If you overdrive this car, if you overdrive any car around here, you're going to escort yourself off before you even realise it. You can't brake too late. You can't drive it too hard. You just got to dance it around.
Yeah. Which is so much easier said than done. You guys have spent hundreds of hours in these cars, etc., and we're just watching it. And us little guys are trying to race it, and everybody out there is trying to watch it. And it's such an amazing skill, and when it comes down to it, it's very, very, very real life to exactly how these cars actually perform.
Did you see that? There's a car on the.
Oh, what was that? That was Stephen Tinkovich, was it? No, that was
David Leslie. David, the safety car has been deployed.
Oh, safety car, yeah. Tyson McAvoy is out of the pits now. Thank you very much for.
David Leslie stuck on the wall. Very unfortunate. He's going to be out for this one.
So the McLaren of Tyson McAvoy is out of the pits at the moment. So I'm sure that means there is a... Oh, wow.
He's touched the grass. There is nothing you can do when that happens. That is the one spot, probably the worst spot to touch the grass.
Oh,
and
he's under brakes as well, and he's braking on his rear wheels with all that weight on the back end, and he's broken. He's braked right on the grass.
I have never seen a car not go into the wall from touching the grass there. You're just a passenger.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's a great thing. Yeah, that's a great way to say it. You are just a passenger. Yeah.
Hey, you know what I'd be thinking if I was Richard Mayer right now? Why? Why a safety car? He's gotten himself up into P3 in the frog leap entry, and he was running very well behind Alex Court and Husey. Safety car has probably brought Richard into a little bit of stress, a little bit of what's the word I'm thinking of? Pressure.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure, and that's the beauty of this, especially, and it's very interesting because sprint race have only got 6 laps. If that left now. So we've only got 6 minutes left of this race right now. So that's what's making it really interesting, because after this restart, all your tire pressures then start to discombobulate a bit, and I love that word. Discombobulate a bit, and it becomes a little bit harder to manage. And so tire pressures then mean tire temperatures, and that is tire temperatures versus track temperature versus outside temperature and humidity, etc.
I can tell you right now, the track temperature is 21, so these tires are going to be stone cold Steve Austin.
Oh, they are going to be like ice skates. Oh, come on. Let's go, roller skaters. Let's go back green. Come on.
As you can see, Husey is trying to work some temp into them. He knows how hard it's going to be on the restart. They're going to be cold as ice. Chris Cross, well aware of this car.
100%, mate. But
Richard
the
Mayer,
elbows from
P3.
Alex Court are going to be the largest you're ever going to see, I think, in this last 6 laps. It might even, no, it's not even going to be 6 laps. It's going to be probably 2 laps. Once we go back to green, we're probably going to get 1 lap and then white flag, probably. And we'll be on, well, look at that timing ladder.
Greg
Let's
Barber is
go.
all over Doddsy as well. He's going to want to get back up into a...
Oh, and Dodsy's front
Podium.
splitter is not looking pretty. So that's not going to be going good for his braking points. So you might see him have to brake a lot earlier than other cars because
he's gone. Court has gone. He's jumped a little early. Hughesy's gone with him.
Go, son.
We've got a spinner out of the exit. Harry Dodds has...
Oh, Harry Dodds.
He's looped. Cold tyres.
Cancel the commentator, but I was commentating on that damage on that front splitter, and we know how much that means in these Porsche GT3 Cup cars.
Cold tyres did not do Mr. Dodds any favours there.
I think it's maybe a combination of the two. Cold tyres and a bit of damage on the front there is not as easy as the rest of the field around him. But look at this. Adam Hughes absolutely hunting Alex Court. It looks like he might have enough to do this. I might call this a little bit early, but he's got a lot of... He looks like he's got a lot more temp in his tyres than Court does.
Black flag for Callan Hodgkinson.
Oh, we've had a bit of a moment. Callan Hodgkinson have a black flag from Callan Hodgkinson there, so...
Not quite sure what that was for, but as he's going to
come... leaking out the side into the wall. Oh no, he had a bit of damage already previously on the back of that car. Look at that 2 SRW cars there. We got Scotty Reagan and Dean Sinkovich having a bit of a battle here. Who's going to make out right? We know that Scotty Reagan's pretty good at turning left, so he might be able to make the move on the left-hand corner down here. How will he be able to make it done? No, he won't. I think he might be just abiding his position and putting his elbows out and making sure that nobody can, so Benjamin Sarin can't overtake him. Oh, look at that. Maybe there is a bit of team action going on there. Mr. Scotty Rager from the Sim Racing World TV team. Oh! Goes to the commentator once again. I remember Scotty saying to me, "Don't commentate on me when I'm racing." I'm always going to, don't tell me that. He's an absolute legend, and he is the hype man of all hype men, I think, Mr. Scotty Rankard. And the dude knows how to turn left, right, and all that certain. He's taught a lot of us along the way, so good to. It's so awesome to have him on board with the Sim Racing World team, which is awesome, so awesome. Back to the action now, guys. Adam Hughes.
Spinner in the back.
Whoa, that was a big moment from... Oh no, big moment from Scotty Rankin. Apologies for the commentator curse. Oh, he's so good.
I'd like to see the...
Oh, no, that's a WTV car on the grass. Oh no.
That's Dean in the white car.
Oh no, and Dean Sinkovich is out there, and Steven Sinkovich has been just absolute. Dean Sinkovich got completely distracted by his brother, and then ran wide as well.
He's putting on the pressure.
Back up in the lead.
You're not far enough there. He's really pushing it. Is that the checkered flag? That's the checkered flag.
Oh, checkered flag at lap 15.
That's race over and done.
Oh. before this little session ends, we'll have a look at Dodsy's spin there. We'll see what's happened.
He's already right second last corner. You could see his tail sliding.
No session ended as we and that's just as we do it with 2 sprint races tonight back to back. So that's just how it happens for iRacing. So we won't be able to bring you a little bit more, but we shall be able to still talk about how awesome that last race was. And we're coming to our first race, and we got our second sprint as well. We've got a bit of a 5-minute warm up, which is it's just good just to be able to let these guys crash some cars into walls. Apparently.
No, on Greg Leake's incident in the second last corner, Greg was bumped by Mr. Benjamin Siren. So leave that up to race control. Sort that one out.
Benjamin Sirens, maybe it was a bit of commentator curse as well. Oh, maybe you got a forked tongue or something tonight, do I? A forked tongue. Sorry. I didn't swear then. I swear I didn't swear then.
Race
But,
Alex did round it up. He got the win for his appearance here in the Porsche GT3 Cups. Husey and Greg Barber changing positions for race 2 of the season, but still coming through pretty strong there in crisscross. Richard Mayer lost out to Greg Barber towards the end there, but still consolidated P4. Good for Richard. Christopher Ireland threw away the win with a spin. Back up to P5. Jake Edwards does well. Does well to get back to P6 after his early issues. Benjamin Byron, after a jump start, has gotten to P7. So he's consolidated that very well. Daniel Fritz in 8th. Harry Dodds, after that spin, has come home in 9th. Scotty Rankin 10th. Stephen and Dean follow suit in the SRW team cars 11th and 12th. Callan Hodgkinson with that late drive through 13th. Ricky with that issue on the restart. P14 with David Leslie bringing out the safety car 1 lap down in P15.
And what an awesome, absolutely epic first sprint race. I'm loving these sprint races, man, because it kind of it brings a little bit of an element, but I love the sprint rounds, and then we have pit round, longer rounds and enduro rounds and stuff like that. It's epic, man, because especially on these different tracks, this would have been a totally different race, and it would have been a totally different probably negative spectacle if it was a lot more races, a lot more laps, or an endurance kind of bit, and you weren't doing this quick fire kind of race, because you would run into too many safety cars, etc., and it would just, if you know what I mean, there would be a lot of carnage here. That's all I'm trying to say.
There would be a lot of carnage. You've already seen how much of a struggle these cars are on cold tyres. And then when you're battling away, like Husey, they're very up close and personal with the car running against. Very easy to make a mistake here, even without the battle. Now, the boys did good. Alex walked away with win number 1 for the season. So that should put a bit of pepper on his dinner.
It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys handle this next race. I think. Do you think there wasn't? Is there bugs to bear? That's all I'm saying. When you have 2 sprint races on the rest of it, sometimes, your emotions flare up the first race and stuff like that. If you think you're a bit hard done by and stuff like that, and then straight away you've got enough time to come back on them again, which is super exciting. And I love that as a racer. You know, I love that being able to race it and just get back to it and go, oh, come on, I'm going to get you back. Especially if you're kind of close in the top 5, you know?
It's going to be very difficult because race 2 is the top 10 invert. All the front runners in that last race are buried in the back. And as you've seen at this track, you can't push it too early. If you do what Christopher from Ireland push it too early, you suffer consequences.
You gotta love the old reverse, eh? Come on! Oh, come on, reverse grid. Inverted. I love the word inverted, but I love the old reverse grid. I love that. I know it's negative connotations because there's been so many. There's been a lot of controversial calls throughout FIA and motorsport throughout the world with the old reverse grids, especially with V8s, etc. Right?
Oh, definitely.
In real life, yeah. So, but that's what makes it interesting, and that's what makes you coming back to take a bite of the cookie. If you know what I mean? You know. Sorry, I just love my love food quotes. That's why they call me Chevy.
This is definitely going to be interesting. There's, I'm sure there's a pit stop in this race. They don't have enough to get home. Let's see what good strategies can come out of this.
Oh yeah, it's going to be so. Oh, I'm pumped about this. It's going to be awesome just to see how it shuffles all out, if you know what I mean. Because that's the beauty of these little sprint races, and you have 2 rounds. When you have the sprint races on those rounds, you learn so much that first few minutes, and it is a sprint race, you know. You're like, okay, cool. You go back to your roots when you started with, you know, iRacing. That's how that's where I am right now. Like the roots of iRacing. This is where I am right now. I'm just envisioning you guys like going, oh, this is like when I first started iRacing. Yeah, cool. You know. But you know, you got to work your way up to these cars, and the reason why I'm saying this is that we definitely have to give every car on this track and every driver in this track a lot of credit for how much car and track control they've got on these cars, and that said as well, we've got a lot of guys on VR and things like that. Man, I couldn't even do a lap without vomiting, I think, on VR. So I don't know about you, Jamie, but what do you run? Do you do the old VR or?
I've actually got a single.
Oh, single how big?
Like 27.
You serious? And you're crazy alien bastard.
Yeah,
That is insane. What?
I've got 3 screens, but I only use they're different size screens. So I've got the single racing. I've got.
So what do you race on though?
27 LG monitor.
Are you serious?
No
you
joke.
are an absolute alien. That is amazing.
Field of view. It's not. It's going to make some people gasp.
Come on.
77 degrees.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So I've got the single monitor that I race that way.
Bro, if you ever come to New Zealand, you need to come to my house and have a go on my rig. And I reckon you'll be the fastest dude ever created. That's insane.
I go over to any of the Fishy Boys houses and I'll wipe the floor with their PBs. They don't.
Really?
They don't like it.
Come on.
I got one screen for the racing.
You're not invited anymore. Yeah.
I got another screen for live timing, and I've got my 3rd screen for Facebook and Fuel Delta. So I'm always.
So let me get this right. You got your small screen for your actual racing, and then everything else you've got.
Nah,
Or-
live timing, I've got another 27, and then on the 24, fuel delta and social.
Well, that
And
is
crew chief
incredible.
and-
That's awesome, man. That is so awesome. You know, I need to produce, etc., so I need to have at least 4 screens. But wow, that's
see-
just blown my mind. That's
I
super
see it
cool.
as a good insight to anyone starting sim racing that you don't need all the gear to be good. Like, I've only had probably 8 months at a Fanatec wheel. Before that, I had a Logitech, $300 piece of crap.
Well, that's the thing. You know, I started on Logitech as well, and then. So here we go. So the grid is up. Shall I leave it to you, Mr. Jamie Dyke, for the grid?
Sure. Starting on pole, finishing in 10th, we got Scotty Rankin. He'll want to make a good getaway. Harry Dodds starting P2. Daniel Fritz up there, P3. He'll want to hang on as much as he can. Benjamin Simon, after having a little bit of unfortune his way, starting P4. Likewise with Jake Edwards. P5. P6, Christopher Ireland. He'll want to make up, probably do an alternate strategy if he can't push through these guys. Richard Mayer, P7. Greg Barber, P8. Adam Hughes, P9. Well,
So here we go. 5 red lights. Go green. Let's go green. Go green. Go green.
Crisscross boys come off pretty well.
Here we go. It seems like a pretty clean start from the rest of the boys, right?
Don't go 3 wide up here, boys. It doesn't work. 2 wide. That's it. That's the stuff. They know what they're doing.
Oh,
spinner.
massive noise between teammates by the look of it. Or was that
Greg
just a
Barber.
self-error?
I'm not sure where Hughesy was then, but that's very unfortunate for Greg.
Yeah, Greg's been a bit off form. Oh, it seems a bit. It's not probably one of his favourite tracks tonight, maybe.
Possibly, but, he's 2 from 2 with podiums, so don't... Rankin starting from lead, cold tyres, bit the bullet. That's very unfortunate for Scotty there. He pulls back on track in front of Greg.
Oof.
Greg will now be like a shark in hot water trying to get back through.
100%. You can see there's red hot glowing brake discs from those cars coming into the apex of that corner. But
Daniel Fritz had a jump start. Fritz is in the pits. He'll be serving most likely a stop and go penalty there. Ireland now up to P3. 1 lap, 3 positions, looking pretty good.
We know that Chris Ireland's got some really good race pace. And I think he's one of those drivers. I think Chris Ireland's one of those drivers. It's about racecraft and race pace for him, rather than he'll try and get in the top parts, but he's got some big elbows and he's got a lot of pace. So let's see if Jake Edwards can.
He ran a little wide there, though.
And Jake Edwards had to anchor on the brakes there, pulling the anchors there, and try and just pull out of the way of him there. So it didn't look like a brake check. It just seemed like he was just. It didn't seem like Jake Edwards didn't brake early enough for the slipstream, but who knows?
Chris was a little wide, so he was slow out of it onto the straight. He's probably going to go back onto Plan A strategy.
Yeah.
What I'd do if I was him. Greg, on the other hand, I would probably suspect would go to Plan B. Or I would if I was in his position. As we Benjamin Siren off.
Oh, massive.
Oh, bit of damage
He
on
is
that car.
not liking this track combo tonight, I don't think. He's really not loving this track combo tonight.
Jake Edwards up into P3 now. Uzi P4.
Oh, look at this. And we know these three dudes. These two guys, Chris Island, Harry Dodds, and Jake Edwards, or even Adam Hughes, always, and Alex Court as well, Richard Mayer as well. These are our top six of always. And these guys had some massive battles, but I think those top three, throughout the ages of Sim Racing World TV, etc., since the first season, these guys have had a massive battle. So these top three will be a battle for the ages, I believe.
Too wide, Scotty Rankin, Greg Leake. Scotty's hit that curb as well. You don't want to hit that curb on the inside if you're battling. You're going to lose there every time.
100%. You know, lose a little bit of grip and it's going to suck you in as well. And that's the thing around here. It kind of, if you get a bit too much tire on that apex, sometimes it sucks the car in, which is it's a strange feeling. But especially in these cars, if it sucks you into the apex and you're too hard on that little ripple strip in there. Oh, sometimes, you know, you freak out a little bit and you pull a bit of brake or downshift too early. That thing will turn around like nothing else.
Hughes having a good look at Jake here in the slipstream. Harry Dodds is trying to get on with it. He'll be under all sorts of pressure from Christopher from Ireland. As looks like they're coming up on Steven Sinker. Coming up on Sinker.
Oh, look at that Sinky on Leakey.
And that's Dean. My apologies. That was Dean.
I'm loving the new liveries, by the way, boys. Look at that. Sinky on Leaky.
That's
Rankin. That's Mr.
Steven's got
okay, apologies, guys.
Yeah, so Rankin's coming up after his issue from the lead. Looks like you don't want to be in the lead in these races.
Yeah, it seems like you just want to...
Everyone's giving it up early.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's chomping at the bit, which is awesome for the race. Everyone is absolutely chomping the bit to just prove something to each other or just push as hard as they can. And everyone is pushing, and the caliber of the racing that we have at Sim Racing World is amazing.
Jake's just let him go. Edwards has just let him go. You're quicker, mate. I'll tuck him behind.
Wow.
Got the triple pump of the brakes. Smart driving from Edwards.
And then we got Hughesy up into third place in the Crisscross Racing boys.
Yeah, Christopher's closed this gap. Working him down. He wouldn't want to work the tyres too hard. Double race length this race, and you won't be taking tyres in these cars. You only take fuel.
Okay, here's a quick question for you. Where's the tyre cliff in these cars?
Depends.
With this 40-minute race, we've got 34 laps of this 40-minute race. Where's that tyre cliff? I'm thinking it's about, as we've seen with previous races, etc. I don't know whether the settings are the same and stuff and tune, but I think we're going to see a cliff. We're definitely going to see a cliff about 26th, 27th lap. And people are going to start to struggle like nothing else. And then clutching in hard. So that's my prediction.
I reckon it's going to be a case of who knows how to adjust their car.
Yeah, okay.
Because the
As
tyre...
you're talking about the brake bias, etc. like that, as you just gradually go through the race.
Yeah.
Push it forward.
So they'll find that when they do pit, if they pit later in the race, when they put the fuel back on, it's going to feel better. So the tyres are which is going to be a struggle for a couple. Oh,
Greg Barber on the inside of Leakey.
Yeah, it's going to for a couple laps, but then the fuel actually helped the car, the weight of the fuel.
So the longer you go on the race, the more balanced this old Porsche is it?
Exactly. Oh, that's close, Leaky.
Oh, he's pushing hard. He's definitely battling with all these boys. David Leslie.
Got a bit of a squeeze from David there. He's up on the curve.
Oh, no. Daniel Fritz off on the outside there. Oh, unfortunate little bit of a mishap there on there. I think it looked like he just missed his braking point.
No,
or might have just locked it up out on the outside.
I think he was trying to let the cars through as Fritzy's a lap down currently.
Now we're on board with Greg Barber on the outside of Greg Leake. Oh, and then on the inside of the next corner. He has definitely made that happen. Greg Barber, we've seen some amazing results from him in the past. We might see him file up quite a few positions. Maybe just didn't have the best qualifying, maybe.
No, Greg had that off lap 1 or 2, or I can't remember the lap number. Oh,
Too many Poolmaster cars, getting confused between them. Sorry, apologies.
That was a bit of a look on Leslie.
Oh, yes, it was. He's just showing the nose. I love that. That is a very V8 supercar move right there. Just showing the nose. Just showing the nose, giving a bit of intimidation. Yeah. I'm right here, and I'm always going to be here. And if you make a mistake, I'm right here to profit from it. Oh, Chris Island putting the pressure here now on Harry Dodds. Whoa! Out in first position, Harry Dodds having a much better round this time, having a much better survival out of the melee, I suppose you'd call it. Absolutely brilliantly done, but Chris Island putting some super pressure on him, followed by Adam Hughes as well. And that is not two people I would be comfortable in having behind me, Jamie Dyke. But no. I'm sure you've had them behind you many times. Or in front of you, I don't know.
Oh, both. I battle well with Hughesy and Christopher. Hughesy in anything with aero and Christopher in the supercar. At this stage of the race, it's early. If I was Harry, the moment Christopher goes for a dive, I'd let him go, save some fuel behind him. You know, if you're saving fuel and he's not, you can stay with him, you can jump him in the stop later on. Don't have to worry about it now, as he's defending now.
That's Hyundai. Oh, wow. And he's taking the move early. Come on. Wowee. I can't believe he's making this move that early. Oh, he's hunting. He is hunting. He's hungry. Wowee. There's so much pressure on the back of Harry Dodds right now. I can't believe it. I thought he would have let, as you were just saying, sorry to cut in, but I think, as you were just saying as well, I thought he would have left it for another couple of corners at least, another lap or two. But no, he is absolutely on the hunt, and he's not taking any prisoners now. Chris Island absolutely on the hunt, and Adam Hughes just trying to profit on the back and staying on the back of that slipstream, right?
Well, no, actually, it's probably smart from Dozzy to start defending, because Hughesy's right there. Hughesy's going to want to try and capitalize on this as quickly as possible. He can jump Island before Island gets Dodds. He'll do Hughesy's spot, but Island's way too close this lap. He's going to get alongside before the braking marker.
Oh, down the outside. That was a very nice word of wisdom, actually. That was very nice, Jamie Dyke, as you said that. Beautifully done.
Him. Oh, a little touch. That's okay. We're all good. And now...
Chris Island up in first place. Absolutely beautiful moves. That's I was in a bit. I know I was silent there a little bit because I was quite in awe of what he was just doing and moves, and And especially these guys knowing each other, how they race together as well. That makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Definitely, as Doddsy had a little bit of a slide there, and we see Greg in the pits taking his pit stop. Oh, correction. Greg Barber flag.
Oh.
Not sure where that
And he's
happened.
in pit lane as well. Greg Barber in pit lane.
Yeah, so Greg probably just took his drive through then. As Christopher Island just then had a massive slide straight, brought all these boys into it. Oh, Husey, that's dangerous. Oh, he pulls out of it. Very smart driving. Does his round the outside. Little bit of door banging, little bit more door banging. Giving each other plenty of room. Very good. Oh, Island's in. Smart move. Pits from the 10. Oh, it's easy. Locks it. Oh, car's coming. Oh. Oh.
Well, that was massive. That was absolutely massive. Wow.
As a result of Christopher Island hitting, Hughes wanted to absolutely gun this. This would have been Hughes' in lap to cover him off. And did he touch the curb or did he just pick up the? Yeah, he just picked up the throttle wrench. He locked it early, which was very convenient.
And it's so easy to do in these cars.
Yeah, and he almost. Oh, he almost clean. Oh. Oh, that's Husey panicking.
And it's 100% trait of these cars as well. It's about keeping it smooth. If you don't keep it smooth, they will twitch out and they'll just do things that you would never even expect.
And this track just amplifies that. No matter what car you're on, you need to drive smoothly here.
100%. Harry Dodd's still out in the lead there, putting his elbows out, just letting himself just be there and just level-headed. He's keeping his head level and he's just doing what he does, just going through the motions at the moment.
Harry needs to drive very consistent now, not worry about anyone else but lap time, because he'll know that Christopher will be on the charge, on the hunt, but Chris will also have to deal with traffic.
Yep.
So Harry just needs to stick to that delta and pit. I'd say pit late.
Okay, so pit late. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. That's when the pit strat comes into it, and that's a pit strat.
Yeah.
But it's cool with this little bit of that 20 minute little sprint race, and just see what pace people have got in a short race, and then the pit strategy and et cetera comes out when it comes to the 40-minute race. Oh,
well,
awesome.
When Chris pit, Harry had two options. He could have pit the very next lap to cover him off, because Chris's tyres would have been cold. So, you know, he could have jumped him in the overcut. Or the only other option now is to pit when you're out of fuel. And hopefully Chris has been caught up in a bit of traffic. And Harry can come out ahead.
Yeah. It doesn't look like there's going to ever be a safety car for this race. Everyone's sort of getting a bit of gaps between each other as well. So they're starting to get a bit of clean air in these Porsche GT3 Cups. Cup cars, which is always an advantage, right?
Never say never.
Yep.
Was it David Leslie brought out the safety car last race on an unforced error?
Oh, 100%, man. You're only a poor brake push away from devastation every race, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hard car, hard track.
Yep. if you're not used to it and all this, and then you start to I think that's becomes to your guys' levels of experience. When they talk about experience in racing, that's what it comes down to. Experience in racing comes down to your muscle memory, how many times you've done that same corner and punished it and tried to hit the apex, etc., etc. And these guys are the top of the top. These guys in iRacing, these guys could jump in a real car tomorrow and absolutely punish people that are actually in real racing in IRL in real life racing, I reckon.
Jake Edwards is sitting P2 very nicely. A couple seconds back from Harry, but he'll be pretty happy running P2 here. Court's on the charge, trying to make up for his mistakes.
Yeah, it's always hard, and it always puts you in like as a driver mind. You know, as a driver mind, it's always a bit hard when you're in that kind of position. You kind of like maybe I made some mistakes, but as we see right now, Mr. Alex Court making that push. He seems like he's absolutely he's getting some better corner exits than Jake Edwards. He's definitely bridging this gap here.
Yeah, it looks like he's driving it very smooth and very straight, which is one of the benefits.
With their best lap times, lap times are literally a thousandth of a second. Essentially, so. Which is pretty crazy for their best lap time in race, but that would have to do a lot to do with slipstream and draft, etc., as well. Is there a lot of aero wash under braking when you're behind another car in the Porsche GT3 Cups, Jamie?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Some people might not notice it, but there's a lot of aero wash because these cars don't have a lot of aero at the front.
And for us little iRacing rookies, is there a way to combat that? Is that you get out of that and you're trying to get the side draft, or?
It depends if you want to murder the tyres or not.
Okay. Yeah, so it's all about the tyre to balance as well as what we're talking about.
So if I was pushing for a pass, I would murder the tyres by turning in extra early and leaning on the mechanical grip of the tyre rather than the aero. And that you can usually do with a little bit of bias and a little bit of in the supercar roll bar adjustments.
Wow, we're all learning a lot tonight. That's awesome. I'm going to endeavour to try these things, and I hope everybody out there in the
Doz is in, and Christopher from Ireland's in traffic.
Ooh, stuff getting interesting.
He's got Jake Edwards ahead of him. Jake Edwards must have pit because Edwards was running P2, and now he's come out ahead of him. This is what I mean by the overcut. The tyres cool off because you're not changing them. As we see Leaky there. Leaky? Yeah, Leaky in the pits. Adam Hughes is in the pits. Hughes was a contender for the lead. No longer. You never know.
You never know when the pit change and pit lane comes out.
They got Hodgkinson behind Ireland. Then Barber is 2 seconds off Hodgkinson. So where did Dodsey? Dodsey came out well ahead. 4-5 seconds ahead of
well, it's battle Chris Island. Come on. Smash on the back. Oh, look at this. He's putting so much pressure on the back of Jacob Edwards right here. So
Can we
Jake
go to-
Edwards.
Can we go to Harry for a sec? So Harry just pit. Look at the gap he's got. Yes, he's going to be on cold tyres now. His tyres would have cooled off. Probably going to take a lap or two to heat back up. But by running long and doing the completely alternate to Christopher, he's given himself the best possible chance to win this race. No mistakes, Doddsy. This is yours.
Oh, and Doddsy, mate, he's just had a Zen moment. Hey, I don't know what you did in between the first sprint race and now, but definitely, mate, you had a Zen moment.
That's caught on cold tyres. Christopher rounded up Jake Edwards. Court's there. Court's going to want to argue this, but he's going to have to concede because he's on cold tyres. Ireland moves up.
Oh, that was rough.
Oh, it's not over.
It seems like there's a bit of biffo going on. Not biffo, but it seems like there's maybe some unresolved tensions there from our pit situation, etc. So
Alex will be on the defense and the offense. His tyres are the coldest right now. He was the latest to pit. So cars that haven't pit so far: Richard Mayer and Scotty Rankin. Richard Mayer, they stay out for another lap. Richard was running P3, P4, so he might actually have a chance to pop out ahead of this battle group as well.
oh, I just love it. I love the pit stops and see the pit straps. We've seen so many upsets. It's so awesome. Will we see an upset tonight?
That's what Harry's going to want. He's going to want Richard to pop out right behind him because Chris from Ireland, everyone knows his pace. He qualified on pole. He's quick.
Yeah.
The boys keep up with the draft? Sure. They've got the pace to beat him? Yes. Christopher's made mistakes, forced mistakes. Under
but the
pressure.
thing with Chris Ireland is super consistent, pretty much 99.9% of laps. But the thing is that, as you know, it's easier to follow. Soon as people pass Chris Ireland, they find it hard to keep it in front of them. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Because the problem is Christopher, and there's a lot of drivers out there that are aggressive attackers, right? But Christopher's a very smart attacker.
Yeah, controlled. He's very controlled attacker.
He's aggressive, but it's very educated.
He's like a stealth bomber, I reckon.
Yeah, where you got a lot of other guys like Alex, like Jake, maybe even Scotty Rankin, where they're aggressive, but it's kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Now, you don't want to be aggressive at the last corner unless it's the last lap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. But even then, you want to be controlled. As we saw with the Fishing Sports last season and last corner at Watkins Glen, but I won't bring that up, will I? Oh, I don't know. Sorry. That was one of my highlights from last season. Even though it was a bad highlight from everything, but I just the way that whole race finished was awesome. Just because it all just... Yeah. And Mr. Shivy is just back in the background saying, yeah, that whole race was just awesome, amazing. And that was one of my highlights, 100% highlight.
Richard Mayer in the pits. He's come out behind Jake, behind Alex, behind Chris. 5th position for Richard Mayer ahead of Hughesy.
Wow, hey, come on.
Good gap back to Hughesy, so P5
I had an early thought, actually, earlier on in this race. I think Richard Mayer might be one of these guys we need to watch, actually, because I think he's one of these guys that's had success in, like, first and second seasons that it's just consistent. He'll sit there, just there, and just do it well.
I think that's what it's going to be. He hasn't got the raw.
Keep it level.
He hasn't got the raw pace of Greg and Hughesy and Christopher, but I haven't seen Richard put a foot wrong on his own yet. He's driving very smooth, very, very smart, and that's how you win championships.
Well, that's how I feel like I would be right now, just sitting, just nice and that nice.
There's a car off there.
Oh, it was a big bit from Daniel Fritz. Oh, Daniel Fritz with a massive moment once again. He's not having much. He had heaps of pace last season in the GT3 Cups, Porsche Cup cars. So I don't know. Maybe it's just his track. A lot of people. We had a lot of people saying they really don't like this track, or they just don't gel with it. And we all know that. Like, is there a track that you just don't gel with, Jamie?
Funny. Up until Tuesday, I would have said Sebring.
And then you dominated.
Best possible result. Only losing out to, the creme de la creme of Scops drivers. Being Adam Briggs and Andrew Dyson. But,
Come on.
I don't. There's not a lot of tracks I don't like. I don't like Sebring. It's probably the only one I can think
one of those things with tracks, isn't it? It's one of those things with tracks. You get to a point, you're like, oh, fuck. Sorry. I absolutely hate this track. Absolutely hate this track. But then you keep on racing because you hate it. And then you get to a point, you get like over a verge of a mountain or something. You get to a point and you go over this pinnacle of like, actually, I might not like this track, or I might not have liked this track before. But now I'm getting fast at it. Actually, I quite like this track now because I'm fast at it, or I'm getting fast at it. So then it becomes, like, I think one of the perfect one is like Nordschleife for me. I spent so many hours so frustrated and angry at Nordschleife.
So many hours.
Like all the different country, all the different corners and everything. But now I got, I love it because it is a challenge, but because I can deal with it now. But it's all a journey, isn't it?
It is. And Sebring is one that I'm now good at, but I still don't enjoy. Whereas you bring up the Nordschleife, I am terrible at that place. Give me Nürburgring GP and I'll kick butt. The Nordschleife, I'm not good, but I thoroughly enjoy being on track there.
Yeah, 100%. I would agree with that. Same sentiment.
You put
I love
it. Adam Simpson from the Radical Race, Fishy Motorsport. He's 15 seconds quicker a lap in almost any car around Nordschleife compared to me. I don't understand it.
It's crazy though, because it is literally, there's 128 different corners on there. So if you times that by 1,000th of a second, by the end of that lap, you can see how it all adds up. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
And it's Nordschleife is all about having enough balls just to hold it on. So as we go on board with Richard Mayer right now in 5th place, putting the pressure on Jacob Edwards, is he going to be able to make this happen in the last 7 laps? In the last 7 minutes, sorry.
I think so. He's come from about a second and a half back last time I checked on him. From when he pit. He came out about 2 seconds, a second and a half back from Jake. So
and it's awesome on board view as well with Richard Mayer. How much more confidence he looks like he has in his tyres as well. He's got a lot more confidence in his tyres. He's a lot more smooth through here.
He hit that
And
apex.
it looks like Jacob Edwards feels like he's under pressure.
Yeah, but who knows, mate? Richard might be very happy, like Mr. Consistency.
Yeah.
Might be happy with the top 5.
I'd be happy with the top 5.
You know, he might, you know, as I say again in multiple series, it's risk versus reward. You want to risk it for a P4. Maybe if it was a podium, but...
And he's already up 2 spots as well, so...
Yeah, this
for
is...
me, that's a win. Right?
It's a hard car, it's a hard track. Would you like P5 or do you want more points?
And the whole reason why he's gotten to P5 is because he's patient. So I reckon he'll just ride it to the end, right?
So is it less than 6 minutes?
Smooth pass.
Less than 6 minutes to go, and Dodsey's gap is down to under 2 seconds.
Oh, let's go, let's go, let's go. Oh, wow, on the hunt, Chris Ireland.
Port's still just...
Oh, Richard Mare! Massive moment. Oh, no. Commentator goes as well.
That was Jake Edwards. That was Jake Edwards coming under
that
pressure.
was Jake Edwards, yeah, sorry. Wow, wait, that was a massive hit. But Scotty Rankin's had a bit of a crash earlier as well. Sorry.
He's just come under pressure. He's seen Richard coming, and he's just cracked under the pressure. It's very unfortunate for Jake. He was running. See what happened. You got a little bit.
Thank you very much to DSL Welding Services for the action replay.
He got squirrely under the ripple strip.
Wow, what was that?
That's very easy to do at this corner. Really, what you want to do is you either don't want to be that wide, or you want to be even wider. Because if you're even wider, the grass kind of keeps left, and it will drive you straight.
Oh, really?
It's a very unique.
Yeah, like a very and
very well.
But fine point though as well. Fine line, I should say.
Yeah, there's the only place you don't want the tire is on the very crest of the curb, which is what Jake just did. And unfortunately, that's what it does to you.
Wow, we up to the last 4 minutes now. Wow, come on. Harry Dodd's still holding his lead here by 1.2 seconds. Oh, holding the...
like a...
Steven.
He's just letting that cast through. So, Alex has dropped off the draft, and Chris is just getting into draft zone now. 1100's back. Probably two laps to go. 3 laps to go.
Next lap, so we're looking at second last lap.
Harry will be sweating this. This will be the most pressure he's been under for a while. But he's driven, regardless if he wins this or not, Harry's driven a great race.
100%.
He's made
the two biggest distance. Absolutely, just taking a deep breath and just being patient.
Yeah, he's worked the strategy to his favour. He's gotten track position. He's led for what I think is the majority of this race. And he's making a few, he's missed a few apexes this lap. Oh, Alex course around. He's at it. He's at an incident.
Oh, Richard Mare slid himself into third right there.
Missed the consistency up to third. Have a look at what Alex did.
And that's the thing, a cool, calm, collected head. Sometimes it's the race, you know?
That's a really bad curb to hit. You don't want to hit that in this car. In the supercar, it's okay, but in these cars, you do not want to touch that.
Oh.
And now, his tyres will be cooked.
So Mr.
Yep.
Alex Court still in the back of Richard
So
Bear.
this is the battle for P3, and we've got a battle for the lead as well. Any other battles on track? Not currently. Everyone's driven a lot cleaner this race. Still a few unforced errors, a few forced errors. Oh, he's wide again. Court's off again. Oh, and Hughesy's consolidated. Hughesy's back up into P4.
Oh,
He's got a 3-second gap to Mr. Consistency.
massive.
Richard just
Mr.
needs to drive clean, and he'll be guaranteed a podium. This will be white flag or checkered? White flag or checkered?
White flag. Last lap. Let's go. Let's go. Leave it
The
back
gap
to you,
is
Jamie.
nothing. Dodds, he's got a good exit out of 1. Gap is half a second. Christopher's a bit better under brakes into 2. Dodds, got a better exit. This corner's very hard, very bouncy. Don't push it, Doddsy. Gap still at half a second. Very nice, very nice. It's bringing it in. This is very, very tight. Consistent on the brakes. He's pushed the gap. He's got a better line. This is going to be close. They're going to be side by side into the next braking zone. He's trying to break the toe without doing anything illegal. Do a half cover. Do a half cover, Doddsy. Oh, don't cover. You're good. He's too far back. Put it on the apex. Very nice. Very clean. Don't spin it up. Oh, well done. You've done well, Doddsy. Best strategy. Held off the quickest guy in the field. Bravo. It's all good, man. Richard Mayer, Mr. Consistency. That's what it gets you. Beautiful podium from him. He drove very clean, very nice. Let people through when he needed to. Great job. Hughesy P4. Yeah, good comeback from what looked like a little bit of a bad strategy. Court P5. Unfortunate for Court. He had that podium. Unforced errors had the way, and he just cooked his tyres in the process. Jake Edwards, P6. A few unforced errors for him as well. He would have also, he had the chance for a podium. Misses out. Rankin, P7. Didn't see much of Rankin towards the end of the race, but P7's pretty good. Done well.
Absolutely awesome end to that race. Absolutely.
Unfortunate
awesome.
what happened to the start from Rankin, having that off, but get some valuable points. Barber, after a drive-through and an off, not the race he would have wanted. He's going to drop back in the championship a little from this one. Callan Hodgkinson drove very well. I believe he also got a drive-through. He did get a drive. Oh, no, maybe that was race 1.
That was race
I'm
1.
not sure.
He didn't get a drive through there, I don't think, on the last race. But Harry Dodds, what a performance from him. I've seen some consistent races from him before, and got caught up in the melee, but we can see that he's got some serious pace at the front, and he's just pushing on. So good to see. Sorry, I just got cut out there for a little bit.
Ben got stuck in all the wrong battle packs this race. Yeah, he got swallowed up when he shouldn't have, but in the top 10, he did very well.
Yeah, it seems like he got caught up in the same battle packs as Benjamin Sarin did last season. So
yeah, Dean P11, Leakey P12, David Leslie P13, Mr. Steven Sinkovich in the Red Beast P14. Fritz had a very unfortunate race, P15, having to let quite a bit of traffic through after that. I think it was Fritz that got the jump start this race. Yeah. Oh. And very, very good race. Very enjoyable race. Battles all up and down the field. And it's about time Dozzy had a good win. And he should be proud of this one. He drove phenomenally.
Yeah, 100%. It's very, very measured and fucking. Sorry. Apologies for the French. But did an absolutely awesome job. Sorry. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. So, absolutely awesome job from Harry Dodds from the Performance Sim Racing team. So we'll try and bring some of these boys down. We've got Mr. Chris Island from our second place getter there. He's down in the green room now, along with Alex Court. We'll just wait for Harry Dodds to jump in, and then we'll go live with our interview chats. So, how did you find tonight, Jamie?
Tonight was awesome. The driving was really good. As I said at the start, it's very difficult with these cars and this track. But all in all, great battling. I was happier with tonight more than round one. It was very, very good.
Me too, actually. So much, like, the quality of driving just seems to get better every week. And that's what makes a difference.
Definitely.
Wasn't the...
Oh.
So we're just waiting for our top three to come into the green room, guys, and then we'll go from there. That is our top three there, I think, Chibi. So, I know it's not. Yeah. So we had Harry Dodds in that first place getter, and then we had Chris Island and Richard Mayer. Seems so having a couple of technical hitches with Here we go. So our race results for tonight for round 2 for the GT3 Porsche Cup, brought to you by Sim Racing World TV, sponsored by DSL Welding Services, Pagnian Advanced in Sport Simulations. Sorry, apologies. We'll go to our race results. So Harry Dawson first, Chris Island in second. We got Richard Marin third, followed by Adam Hughes, and wrapping out our top 5 is Alex Court. So we'll go. So we're just trying to find our top 3 there.
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, I just send myself down there. In I go. Cheers.
Greg Barber there in 8th place. Callum Hodgkinson in 9th place. We've got Benjamin Siren in 10th place. Falling down the ranks there. It seems like he's had a bit of a mixed race. Probably not a favourite track of his, so that's fine. That's fine, you know. Sometimes, but we love having you if you're out on track, you know. Good. So Dean Sinkovich in 11th. We got Greg Lake in 12th. David Leslie in 13th. Stephen Sinkovich in 14th. Daniel Fritz in 15th. And Tyson McAvoy, thank you very much for race control tonight and being in the safety car. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're gonna bring in Richard Mayer for our for our race interviews tonight. I might hand it to you, Mr. Jamie Dyke.
Richard, well done on P3. How do you feel after that race?
Thanks, Jamie. Yeah, look, a bit of consistency got me there, and a bit of luck, I guess. A couple of the quick guys, it let go for them in the opportune moments for me. So, look, real happy just to finish on the podium. I really enjoy driving this car, and this track's a little bit tough, but yeah, happy to get third.
Mate, you drove very smoothly, and you should be proud of that one. You and Harry were probably the smoothest drivers around this track, and it's a very bumpy track, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. No, thanks. That's what I just tried to save the tyres, but they were burning up at the end there, and I was getting caught, but lucky to hold out till the end.
We started calling you Mr. Consistency in the broadcast. You did very well. Congratulations. Is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, thanks, mate. You're too kind. Look, just the guys from Frog Leap. I've only been with them for a short time, and they've been very welcoming and supporting. And obviously all you guys for doing the broadcast and putting it on. DSL Welding and Sim Racing World, you guys do a really good job. So really happy to be part of it. Thanks to everybody.
We can do it without you guys. Absolute legends.
All of us just trying to keep it on the black stuff, mate.
I'll hand it back to you, Jamie. Sorry.
All right.
So now we have our second place getter here. We got Chris Island coming back down into our broadcast chat as well. Mr. Chris Island, how did you find the race tonight, man?
Oh, yeah. Next question.
Oh, you had some serious pace out of that tonight, mate. You had to do a bit of fight back there from there, but did you find the second race a bit more of a balance than the first?
No, the second race was just as bad. I probably need to work on my mental, my mental game, I guess. First race, I jumped in with the qualifying set on like an idiot. That's why I was so much quicker than everyone else because I was doing quali laps. Luckily enough, I got the safety car to, claw back a result. Second race, I dove into the pits a little bit earlier than I wanted to. And I forgot to untick tyres, so I took a couple of tyres at the end there. And then I thought I underfueled as well because I pitted so early. Didn't know the race was going to go time certain, so it turns out I didn't need to fuel save at all, but I was fuel saving pretty hard from like about lap 12 through to lap about 22, 23, I think, when I realised.
Wow, he wondered because it seemed like you were clutching in pretty hard.
Yeah, I was. I didn't think I was going to make it. I was trying to save as much as I could.
Ouch! Wowee!
Yeah.
So you could have had the gap then.
Oh yeah, I could have, but I didn't. At the end of the day, there was a reason I didn't have the gap, and that's because my performance wasn't good enough. So the set was incredible. Big shout out to Josh Thomas for that one. That was an insane set. The car was absolutely on rails, and it was as quick as anything. But again, as much as it's who's quicker driver, it's also who's better with the strategy and who's more composed on the night. And Harry was tonight, and good on him. It was a good drive.
Yeah, I expected. We were all talking about it as well. What we were expecting out of how many safety cars and stuff we were expecting out of tonight's race, and it was very impressive. And big shout out to Josh Thomas from Precision Sim Racing as well. Sim Training, I should say. Yeah, just backing you up. Yeah, right there with that setup. I thought there would be a hell of a lot more madness, but you saying that really just drives it home that it all comes down to setup, tire pressure, etc., right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of time in setup. There's also a lot of time in driving around tracks like these. You need to really have a good understanding of the weight of the car and the fact that the suspension isn't as stiff as normal, let's just say for a GT3 car, for example. You can feel some of the bumps around here, especially through turn 1 on that right-hand side. So, setup definitely makes a difference. The setups I was testing before I used Josh's, felt so slow compared to what I was using, what he made. So big shout out to him. And I know he's going through a bit of a rough time at the moment. So I don't know if he's listening, but yeah, big shout out to Josh. Absolute wonderful bloke, and wish him all the best.
We got you. We got you back, Josh. Legend, absolute legend. And who would you like to thank tonight, bro?
Oh, obviously, I've already thanked him, but big shout out to Josh there, and especially the boys back at Send It Sin Sports. Definitely helped me out, and had Glenn in here tonight, just having a chat, just sticking around with me, giving a bit of info. So good on him. Just a big shout out as well to Precision Performance Shop. Is where you can grab all your setups, especially the ones that Josh makes. Absolutely on rails, so highly suggest that if you're driving the Porsche Cup. Big shout out also to Hobbs Trenching and Boring, ProServe Finance, Sydney Computers, AJ Insurance Services, Transform Media, Pixel Blocks, CD Cinematography, and 27 Designs.
Thanks so much, Chris. Amazing drive as always. It's always a pleasure to watch this. It's always a pleasure to be part of this, and a pleasure to just be part of all of it. And Jamie, I might hand to you to go to our race winner, Mr. Harry Dodds. What a convincing.
Harry, well done, mate. Tell us about your drive.
Oh, geez, I tell you what, mate, I'm a bit over the moon at the moment. I honestly wasn't expecting that, but yeah, great. Obviously, great to get the win. Congrats to obviously the remainder of the podium finishes. Chris and Rich, they were pretty quick throughout the race, especially in the sprint, the first one. But yeah, absolutely stoked to get the win. It's a big monkey off the back. I've come close that many times in SRW, and yeah, it's especially. Yeah, pretty happy to get that one off. Get that one off the back.
You drove superbly, mate. Both you, Christopher, kind of had the pace, but you and Richard drove so smooth and so consistent that the moment Chris pit, I turn around to Toddy and I'm like, Harry stays out and he gaps him. He's got a shot at winning this, and you did just that, and you drove beautifully, man. Well done.
Yeah, well, see that's what I initial thought. Like, because if he's going to pit early, I'll just go for the overcut, because I know these tires are going to last a heap of laps, and yeah, just go for it. And I ended up gapping him by 5 seconds when I came out of the pits.
Yeah. No, it was awesome, man. Now that you got this monkey off your back, because you've been hunting this win for a while, what's your thoughts going into Interlagos?
Interlagos, it's a track I do know pretty well. I drove the Indycar there a few weeks back and had a pretty good pace there. So yeah, it's a track I do know. It's a track I like. Good flow, good elevation change. So yeah, it's one I'll definitely take into notes for some good practice laps.
Love your stuff, man. Who do you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Obviously, big shout out to everyone in my team at the moment. I know they were probably all watching the stream at that point. Also to my family, and mainly to also the sponsors: West End Motor Group, Toyota Sim, Too Easy Finance, Parramatta Isuzu Ute, Night Rider Designs, and Track Racer.
Lovely work, and I got to say, that livery looks awesome.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Well, you can thank the team boss for that. Tyson made this paint up for me, and it looks really sexy on the car. So yeah, big shout out to Ty Dollar for that.
Yeah, well done. Oh, anyways, I think that is going to wrap up our broadcast for this evening. Toddy, you want to take it away?
Of course, I would love to. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us tonight for our super show. It's been absolutely amazing. I love the SR8s, radical SR8s, and versus the SR10s for this season. Absolutely genius stroke. I have to say. Followed up then by our Porsche GT3 Cup. And it's been an amazing night. I'm sure you'd agree, Mr. Jamie Dyke. And I'd love to wrap up for tonight. So thank you very, very much for coming and seeing and being part of our broadcast. Make sure you hit all those bells and the notifications, etc., etc. Thank you so much to DSL Welding Services for all your massive sponsorship and help, along with Pagnian partners, Pagnian Advanced Simulations, along with Dragon RC and all of our behind the scene crew for SRW TV and Sim Racing World. Much love to you all from myself and Mr. Jamie Dyke. Wrapping up for Sim Racing World TV. Thank you very much for coming. Much love and keep safe.